Hello, everyone. Before we get started on this week's episode, just a quick word that YouTube, in all its infinite wisdom, has decided that some of the Die Party games are now not suitable for advertising. It doesn't mean a whole lot for the content. I'm not going to censor the videos in any way, but if you'd like to lend your support so that Die Party can continue to grow, please check out the Patreon or subscribe on the Twitch channel. Enjoy the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Die Party Dead Man's Crest, a weekly 7th C 2nd edition role-playing experience right here on Twitch. We've got a brand new player joining us today, and we've got a missing player because of doggo reasons. So let's go around and introduce everyone real quick. Up first, our brand new player. You might have seen him before. You might not have, but he's a good pal of mine, Mr. AP Gaming Real. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. It's been about a year and a half since I've been on your show, I think.
When was the last... No, it can't have been
Last
that long.
episode of Night City.
Really?
Yep. You were the first streamer I ever collaborated with, too.
Huh.
And he regretted every minute of it.
Apparently not. He's back.
Yeah,
We did quite a few early shows. I think.
Yeah, and then you pushed your channel into family friendly, and fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably the reason why we stopped collaborating so much together, because
I got busy, man. After Night City, I was so busy.
yeah.
I was running like 6 streams a week.
Yeah, we were doing that for a while as well, but these days it's kind of calmed down a bit because every Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing a role-playing stream, so it's getting harder and harder to put together a team of exuberant gentlemen and gentle ladies to play a game with. So, yeah, that's just the territory, though, man. That's just how it rolls, but. Yeah, well, I mean, this is your first time on the 7th C, so why don't you give everyone a fair shake of the stick and explain what it is that you do and what games you run and all that shit?
I'm Arthur Perkins. I run a channel called AP Gaming Real. I also put all of my content on YouTube as well. I've run about 40 different tabletop role-playing game systems over the last 5 years, and right now I'm running a lot of anime-based systems and Stars Without Numbers game. Yeah, look at you laugh. Look at you laugh.
Anything
We go
to do?
full anime all the time.
What do you mean anime-based games?
One of them is called OVA and is directly meant to simulate anime situations. The powers are generic enough that you could find them in any anime, but specific enough that you would only find them in anime and not, say, Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, give me an example, because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about here.
Something like Drain Touch is a special power that you can get where it prevents the enemy from being able to heal wounds that you've already dropped in on.
Okay.
Ability to just summon minions on the battlefield endlessly out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's pretty anime.
Yeah, it's pretty anime.
Is one of the powers to be like, I have no magic, but cancel all magic?
Yes, yeah, there is a nullification one.
As far as
That
I'm
man,
concerned-
you know how popular that is in anime nowadays? There's
It's
like
super
4
popular.
ongoing shows with that shit.
It's like, haha, I'm the only male in the entire world to be born without magic. Ah, well, guess I'll try and live a normal life. Fuck you. Yeah. Ah.
We also have a BattleTech show, which is surprisingly more well attended than I thought it would be.
So, with the actual BattleTech game coming out,
Yes,
what's
we've all
happening
been
there?
all of the cast members have been challenging each other to duels in both BattleTech and the MechWarrior 5 mercenaries that are both coming out.
Oh, MechWarrior.
We're
God.
super set to shoot each other a bunch as soon as they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sid Alpha's in that game, right? Like
Yeah, Sid Alpha is in that game.
Yeah, I've been trying to work with that man for a while now, but
He is.
he's gotten real busy and real popular lately.
Yeah, he was at GDC. I know you mentioned that a couple minutes ago, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he did not enjoy his time there. I don't recall you enjoying GDC very much in the past either.
I mean, GDC for me has always been a work thing, and it's you know there is a style of doing business with people where you drink, and I'm not sure what that's called, but the idea that you need to do business while being functionally like intoxicated is like, and on top of that, like never getting any sleep, because if you don't take advantage of the fact that you're going to a convention, then you're doing it fucking wrong. So it is literally like the most numbing thing you could ever do. And on top of that, you get sick. And on top of that, you have to take a 13-hour flight back home, or at least I used to.
Dave, it sounds like you didn't enjoy GDC.
I have fond memories of GDC. You know, like, that's about
Do you have
it.
any memories?
Yes.
Just hazy memories, yeah. Hazy memories of that hangover.
The first GDC, I wasn't even 21, and I got and I actually convinced bouncers to let us in ahead of the line of people like that without even being the right age to do it. So you know, the power of business cards. You know. Anyway, you know, we like to do a little intro here. Like intros are kind of my favorite thing to do. We should just make a weekly podcast, but fucking who cares? But Arthur, what have you been playing, man? Any cool games or anything like that?
We played Far Cry 5 today.
Yes, we did.
For like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real great killing cultists. What else have I been playing? Civ 6.
What
Civ
with the
6.
new DLC thing that they had?
Yeah, so I'm in a no disqualification group, which is where when you join, you're not allowed to leave the game or you're permanently banned from the group. So it generally ensures that everybody stays the full time. And that's been pretty interesting. I'm losing constantly. Everyone is much, much better than me.
Who did you pick?
I'm currently playing a game where I'm Greece, the shitty Pericles one, not the great other Greece one.
Mm-hmm.
I was really counting on my hoplites to just wipe the map out early, and somebody else's Gilgamesh and rolled me pretty hard.
All right. Yeah. So how does that work? Is that just like once a day you have to do something? Like, because
so each person takes their turn and then sends it using a program called Play Your Damn Turn, and it's like email chaining. Sometimes we get one turn in every 2 or 3 days, and sometimes we get like 10 in one day. It just depends on if everyone's available.
Shit, man. That sounds interesting. I remember. So, hey, just real quick question. Did you ever play a game called I think it was like King Neptune or something?
What was it called?
I'm trying to find the name of it right now. Anyway, it's a strategy game. Neptune's Pride. That's what it's called. It's called Neptune's Pride. It's a strategy game that takes place in real time, in space. So you start off as so the idea is you play it with your coworkers or something like that, right? In an office environment, and everyone takes a random alias, and you're not allowed to. The idea is that you're not allowed to. The game intends for you to play it with people you know. But you're not allowed to talk with them in real person about who you are playing in the game. And it takes place in real time. Meaning that if you send your ships to go scout another sector, if it takes 48 hours for them to fly through space over to that sector to scout it, then that's how long it takes in real time to actually do it. So there's this weird thing of like, let's say you sent off ships like an hour ago, and then your long-range scanners pick up ships coming to you, and
That's
like
real bad. Yeah.
they're like 40 minutes out, and you're just like, oh shit. Like that game was apparently like fucking incredible for play turn passing sort of thing. So
have you ever played Diplomacy, the board game? Really old board game, very famous.
maybe, I don't know.
It's about World War One Europe. You only get like a few units, and they all have the exact same attack powers, so they all bounce off each other. And the only way to advance in the game is to work together with other players. But eventually, only one person can win, so
Yeah.
you have to trick people into working with you just long enough to betray them. We hosted several epic diplomacy games on my Discord server. I managed to win every single one. The trickery was real. It was so real.
The AP real.
We destroyed friendships there.
Nice. That sounds like it could be interesting. Like,
It's a terrible idea. Only play with people you don't intend to keep as friends for very long.
so, what was it? One of the biggest disappointments that I think you and I have collectively had is that we originally wanted to do a big real-time version of XCOM.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't find anybody else that would go in on that.
Yeah.
It's called Watch the Skies.
Watch the Skies. That's what it was.
I would love
yeah.
to do that at some point. I
Yeah.
still have all my prep.
Yeah, no, that should have been amazing. So the idea is that basically everyone takes a country, and then each person has to be like a lead scientist, lead military advisor, president. Is that it? No, there was
Yes.
one other person, right? There was 4 people.
Some nations get more. America gets like 7 people.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and the idea is that you basically play XCOM, where like, and then another team plays the aliens, and they basically each have their own like, the aliens.
So
have their
all
own
the countries are
objectives,
fighting
yeah.
each other, and the aliens are fighting you. And random events pop up. You move across the map in real time. It is crazy. It's super crazy. People have videotaped it at conferences, and that shit is incredible.
I think who was it? Shut Up and Sit Down. They did a really good video on it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, go do that. Anyway, it's good to have you on board. It'll be interesting to see where you go from your character, because we'll do your little introduction while we wait for Eugene, because Eugene is going to show up. He's just going to be maybe 40 minutes late or something like that. So, Prylor, hello. Good to see you, man. What's going on?
What's going on? Well, I I'm getting back into Paladins, and they've been patching the hell out of that and making it a way better game than it has been. They're actually fixing bugs.
Are you seeing more and more people coming back, or is it like is it like a no-sum game?
I believe more people are coming back, and I think Hi-Rez is throwing more money into Paladins than they are throwing into Smite. So I think they're trying to transition from Smite being their breadwinner to Paladins.
That's interesting.
And they took one of their like lead guys on Smite and put him on this game, and he's like, what the hell, guys, there's tons and tons of bugs in this game and you haven't fixed them. So like the first patch they did, it was just like pages and pages of bug fixes, which is great. And they just released a patch today that I hadn't played because I've been playing Far Cry 5 with KO, and that game is a lot of fun. Just blasting people, just the chaos. I've never played a Far Cry game, so that's...
What? This is your first Far Cry game?
Yeah, this is my first, and it's...
Oh, man, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Fantastic, dude. I'm loving it, and I can't wait to, I don't know, stream tomorrow, because I want to play more of that game.
Yeah, dude. So,
it's so much fun.
I always recommend people play Far Cry 2, because that game is fucking bananas. So a lot of what made Far Cry 2 great, they've kind of put into here. So like the ally system and stuff like that first got introduced in, they called it the buddy system in Far Cry 2. And Far Cry 2 had this amazing, it was much, much better implemented in Far Cry 2. So basically the game takes place in the African savannah.
Cool.
And at the start of the game, you get to pick from, I think it's like 7 mercenaries. And, you know, each person has like, yeah, check out my sweet hand tattoos and shit like that. So every person you pick is like, got different hand models and all that sort of shit. So, but what happens is in the game, basically another mercenary will show up and be like, "Hey, buddy, we should be friends." And then like the idea is that this guy, he's going around doing whatever he needs to do, right? And you're going around hunting down this dude that you need to kill. Like the entire game, you're just hunting one person. And let's say you get into trouble, your buddy will come and pull your ass out of the fire. Like he doesn't follow you around and help you out in battle like they do in this game, but he will pull your ass out of the fire, you know, heal you, and then like help you fight off a wave of enemies, and then be like, all right, I'm out of here. But let's say that you know, and then the same thing will happen to him. Like he'll call you up sometimes and be like, "Hey man, I'm getting fucked up over here. Help me out." So you have to drive over and help him out. And if he dies for whatever reason, like if he dies helping you out, or if you don't get to him in time, you just lose your fucking friend, and then you don't have any more friends in the African savannah. Like, just oh my god, like so much of that game is like so fucking insane, and you can see little bits of it in Far Cry 5, but then they just like Far Cry 5 is like the most leanest Far Cry I've ever played. Like out of every single one, the things you can do in Far Cry 5 is just like, yep, there's no animations for skinning, and skinning is just literally an effort to get money super quickly, but then money doesn't mean anything because the guns don't mean anything, and it's just like, yeah, it's a weird one. It really is, but I don't know. Far Cry 5 is fantastic. I'm definitely enjoying my time with it. It's very easy though. I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, and anytime you go silent in that game, it's just like, yeah.
I've run into a weird thing where it doesn't matter where or how silent I am. If I shoot anyone anywhere, everyone knows. Like I'll shoot someone with a bow, and they're out in a bush, like completely away from everyone
I know
else.
when you shoot a bow as well. I know exactly when it happens.
Yeah, and then everybody, you release a bow, you're shooting it, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the correct terminology.
It's about throwing knives. Throwing knives.
Throwing baseball bats at people.
Dude,
no,
not that
actually, one. That actually works quite well. But yeah, it'll be some guy that's not even near anyone else, but everyone in the compound will know that he went down for some reason. I can't go stealth in it.
Really? That's super strange. Maybe like reattach all your silencers and stuff like that.
Maybe
there's also like a line of sight stuff and all that shit. Like it might be something to do with that, or generally just like the other thing is too, like unlike Far Cry 3 or 4, liberating a sector or liberating a outpost doesn't mean like the only thing you get out of it is extra money. Like you don't get anything else out of it other than So there's no reason not to just jump in an airplane and just like fucking dive bomb the shit out of every outpost.
That's one thing I did was, you know, those like silos you are supposed to destroy. I just took a plane and just drove it straight and jumped out at the last second.
Yep.
Straight up.
No, they actually say that that's the best way to do it. So yeah.
Is there?
Yeah. No. Yeah. You get a helicopter in the game. You just fly around, just shoot all those things, and
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
You don't actually explore the map in a helicopter. Like it doesn't
reveal. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like
weird.
Yeah, like finding all the stashes and shit. The only way you really do that is by like
traversing it on ground.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what else have you been up to, man?
pretty much just that, man.
Just two games. I
was gonna say, yeah. I've been trying to get back in, like I said, into Paladins and working up a base again there. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Wow, that's
working on my aim.
Yeah, are you playing much of the battle royale version they have of Paladins, or are you just going?
They stopped that because they're making it its own client. So it's not going to be a game mode in Paladins. It's going to be its own client.
Right.
So
yeah, you mentioned something about that being like how
it's going to be a standalone game.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. God, there was another battle royale game coming out. Oh, what the fuck was it called? Anyway, it doesn't matter, I guess. But Yeah, everyone making battle royales, man. Eventually, like, we'll see how they go. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna outseat Fortnite now. Like, that one's well and truly in top position. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about top position, James, how you doing, man?
I'm alright, thank you. I'm alright. I'm good.
How's your games going? Your role playing games that you're doing?
Erik joined us on Thursday for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Yeah, so yeah, that's
Oh,
all
he
right.
did.
Yeah, well, because he said it on the stream Sunday.
Wait, that was your game? Oh shit. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah, he wanted to play Warhammer, and I was like, "Look, I'm running Warhammer," so he's joined us for a temporary amount of time.
Yeah. So you've got what, 3 now going on every week or something? Or is it 4?
We've got 2 regular, and we've got a third one possibly starting on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, no,
because I dropped Exalted because it was too crunchy for my taste.
Too crunchy.
Like, just too much work involved in coming up with stories and characters. Because if you want to challenge the characters, you have to write bad guys, and sod that.
You have to do work. Fuck it, man.
I like a game where you don't have to do much work at all. You can just go, I'll just use these pre-generated stats, and hey, I'll just add something done.
Easy. Brush your hands of it. I've kind of found that I don't get to play role-playing games anymore. I'm always the fucking GM these days. So annoying. The only game that I get to play where I'm a player is fucking Mouse Guard. And that's more of a that's not like I like a little bit of crunch in my cereal, you know, like I like that shit. So I am actually
but there's medium crunch, and then there's Exalted, which is it's not even medium crunch. Exalted 3rd edition, just too complicated. I was hoping that when I kickstarted it, I thought they were gonna like streamline it and make it run faster, but I think they've made it more complicated than 2nd edition. So it's actually got harder. So yeah, that's my grudge with it. So yeah, I dropped it unfortunately because I just couldn't be bothered to deal with it.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm even tempted to throw it on eBay because it's limited edition and it's like goes on eBay for stupid amounts of money. So
do it.
I could do with some money.
Yeah.
But yeah, Warhammer, because you were saying what is Warhammer about? Basically, you play normal people that have been pushed by the situation into having to be heroes. So they're like the downtrodden, the peasantry and stuff of cities and stuff. And the difference between Warhammer Fantasy Battle, so the war game, and Warhammer Roleplay is Warhammer Fantasy Battle is very high magic and stuff and colourful and bright, where Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is very much like low magic, very much mud and bloody and just basically just a bit shitty for the characters. It's not a very nice place to live. But yeah, they eventually get, you know, it's not like D&D where they start off as like heroic characters. They're pretty much just barely above the mundane, but they do the right things to make them, you know, they force themselves out of the mud and dirt and become heroes that way.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time we got this fucking shit started. So,
I haven't played Far Cry 5 because I've never played a Far Cry game.
Far Cry 5 is a good starting point. You should definitely play it from there. Or 3. Either one. 3 is also fucking insane as well. So, alright. So, we get to introduce Rapier Lawrence. Is that how you say it? Lawrence?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And why don't you give us a little, introduction about your character and who he is and what he looks like and all that sort of stuff.
Well, Rapier is a duelist by trade. He openly flaunts his Toro-style badge on his cloak pin to let everybody know that he's a total badass. He also carries around 2 rapiers one on each hip. Again, openly wears them to let everybody know he's a total badass. That he may not actually be able to back up on. And he's kind of average height. He's from we call this the Green Islands,
the Emerald Isles.
Emerald Islands. He's from a Great Brittany type place, so he's kind of pale, generally dark-haired, sullen, salty, annoying. He can't get drunk. Apparently, that's one of his traits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like he just has...
Can't get drunk when you're drinking alcohol.
Interesting.
I figure he's probably at least half or more Irish.
Able drinker. Right?
Yep. Alcohol never adversely affects you.
Interesting.
So we can have a party. Woo!
Yeah, we have someone in our group who who's got a curse when he drinks anything. It turns to ash in his mouth. So
that's horrifying.
Yeah. He doesn't die from it. He just doesn't get he doesn't get to quench his thirst, basically. But yeah, okay. So you've got the Duelist Academy perk, which is really good because that's one thing the players in this group are missing. Like my character had it, a dueling thing, and so you're with you said
Torres.
Torres.
Yep.
Let's see here, Torres.
With the Matador style, you have to use a cape or a cloak in combat.
Oh yeah.
In your free hand, and if you swish it around, you can block incoming attacks.
No, I had the exact same one, dude. Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking dope. Oh, okay.
My virtue is the Emperor, so if I activate my hero point or whatever, I give hero points to everybody in the party. So he's kind of just really good at standing around and showboating.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's it. That's his whole life.
What is your
also murdering people?
What is your what was it? There's what is your hubris? Yeah.
Let's see here. I think it was the one where I diss people really badly.
Tower? It says here that you've got.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So.
Yep, my hubris is the Tower. Arrogance. I get a hero point whenever I show disdain, contempt, or otherwise look down on villains.
Yeah. Okay. That's so the thing is you'll have to remind me about them as well.
No problem.
Whenever
and
you
fight
try.
for them.
Yeah. Well, I'm willing to give up as many hero points as it needs, but so yeah. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, Arthur. And I would like for you to answer them in character if you can.
Of course.
So, what would you say Rapier's biggest weakness is?
Rapier's biggest weakness is that he doesn't want anyone to know that he believes that only little children are innocent and that everyone else can just fuck off and die.
Okay. If you want to write these down too on your bio, that'd be cool. I can give you the questions later so you can fill them out as well. What would you say your biggest strength is?
My actual strength.
I don't know. We have a person in the party who can literally punch a man's head off, so we'll see how we go with that. So who would you say is the person closest to your heart, or an item, or whatever?
I'll answer that instead in another way. Not that I'd let anyone else know, but Rapier's long-term plan is to earn enough money to open up an orphanage.
So you love children, basically, or love
I wouldn't say love children. I just think that they need to be raised properly so that they're ready for the bitter, cold, dark world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What would you say your darkest fear is?
Probably getting stabbed in an alleyway and then no one would know how great I am.
Dying without leaving a mark in history. Cool.
Indeed.
Do you take solace in religious idols?
No.
Okay. Are you superstitious?
Well, I mean, I've seen a curse in my time.
Like, are you the type of guy that throws salt over your shoulder or anything like that? Or, do you believe in breaking a mirror is bad luck, that sort of shit?
I try to help old ladies across the street, and I never insult someone that I think might be a wizard.
How do you wish to die?
I mean, obviously, I want to die in a glorious blaze in my 90s, next to the orphanage that I'm defending, and all of the children successfully get away and then grow up to avenge my death.
What is your main motivation for taking to the sea?
I need money. I know it's not very unique, but that's where we are.
What would you say your wildest dreams would be?
Well, honestly, I probably shouldn't be sharing this with you, but I was thinking something like a 3 or 4 way with women from different parts of the continent. I've always heard stories, but I've never been able to successfully seal the deal on that one.
Are you playing my character? Like, what would you say? What is your opinion of your home country?
It sucks.
All right, cool.
Don't worry, everywhere sucks.
Perezia has no equal, actually. So
that's what you think. It's only because it sucks as equally as everywhere else.
Yeah, maybe. Cool. All right then. So yeah, there is a. If you want to just use the bio and info page to do that, I'll send you a thingy. I'll just copy this so that you can. I'll just dump it into the Roll20. Sorry, the chat here, the Zoom chat. That's just my old character's one. So just take out the answers and put them in there. All right. So now, we're going to start you off the same way that our current players' crew started off, which is to say, you're involved in being thrown overboard, shipwreck, what have you. Do you have an idea how you want that to happen?
I definitely think that Rapier probably just comes stumbling out of a random shipwreck with a bottle in hand.
Okay. How did that ship go down?
Is that important? Do we really want to play the blame game with who accidentally knocked the tiller and why the main mast was slashed to pieces?
A little. It sort of informs a little bit of what's happening at the start here.
Well, let me tell you a story then about how I got into a fight with the crew of the ship, the Salty Whale. That's it. That's the whole thing. I got into a fight with the crew and ended up accidentally knocking the ship off course. And then I sliced up the mast in the middle of a fight. Mm-hmm. It was very epic. I was up on top of the mast, see, and we were fighting, dueling. Ching, ching, ching. And then I fell down and I had to use my sword in order to catch myself the whole way down, ripping the sail.
Were you on board for piracy, or what were you doing there?
I was just on board for transport, but they wanted to engage in piracy, and I would have no part in that.
So you were a patron of the ship rather than a part of its crew, and
indeed,
and you had some sort of discourse with the crew itself, and ended up wrecking on some rocks, or
call it a pang of conscience.
All right, cool. So the ship crashes, right? And the ship breaks apart along the jagged rocks of some small little outcropping somewhere. We get a montage of you falling into the drink, struggling against the waves as the ship goes down. Only moments later to wake on the shores of an island, fairly small. That's pretty much what happened. You wake on this island.
Hello? Is anyone there in any direction at all?
So you hear nothing aside from the whispers of an inviting wind dragging you towards a very small cave, which is pretty much one of the only features on this island.
Well, I could stand here monologuing to myself, talking about how there's a cave directly ahead of me, and I'm the only one here. But I think instead I will walk towards the cave.
All right. So you walk towards the cave, and in it, basically it starts to illuminate almost magically, right? The walls of the cave light up from the sconces that are there. As you walk deeper and deeper, the torches keep turning on.
Hello, is there a wizard here?
Not a wizard, but come in, come in.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me inside.
You're welcome very muchly. Have a seat, have a seat. Would you like something to drink? Perhaps a goblet of wine, or maybe some water?
I'm afraid alcohol does nothing for me. I'll take the water.
So she will. This old crony, wearing a hood, outstretches a bony hand and hands you a wooden mug, I guess, filled with water she got from a barrel, I guess. I don't know what the actual proper term would be. And she sits down opposite you, and she watches you drink if you drink it, but otherwise she watches you for a little bit of time.
I thank you for your hospitality.
No, it is I who will be thanking you in just a second. Trust me.
Well, that sounds ominous.
Oh, that is what I do. Ominous is my thing.
That seems like a strange thing to be known for, but I'm guessing you're some sort of traveling performer that does a one-man show in this cave?
No. I'm a witch, young one.
I had no idea. Couldn't have figured that one out myself.
I'm sure you had an inkling. Either way, you've washed ashore my isle. This is Shipwreck Isle. Congratulations on making it here.
It seems like a very apt name.
You know, everyone who falls victim to the ocean always ends up here, lad. Don't worry.
Everyone?
Yes, everyone.
That seems improbable.
Well, you see, this is my island, and unless you make a deal with me, you won't be leaving. So.
All right, well, what do you want? My kidney? Maybe a sword?
No, nothing.
Need me to kill somebody?
Nothing like that. I need something
to value. Oh, you need something of value.
Mm-hmm.
How about some silver?
Nothing physical, my lad.
Oh, well, I can tell you a story then.
No,
you see, once long ago... Oh,
need anything like that. You need to give up something that you... You need to give up something intangible.
I don't follow.
Well...
Listen, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I don't know very much about witchering or wizarding. Is there like a standard pact here? I need to sign a contract and you get my soul?
I don't want your soul.
Oh, that's good. I actually like having it.
I need you to give me something. Something that you value of yourself. Maybe your courage, perhaps?
No, I think I need that. I'm a duelist, so...
Well, what is something that you want? Otherwise, you will never leave this island and you will die in the next morning.
Well, that's very bad. All right, look. The problem is the conundrum that you've laid upon me. In order to give you something, it has to be something I value and want to keep. Obviously, everything that I want to keep, I'd like to keep rather than give to you.
Yes, but you won't make it to the morning unless you do.
Is there like a list of things other people have given from you that I can choose from?
Boy, if I was to give you the list. Oh.
Top 5?
No. This
Top
is
3?
something that comes from yourself.
Can I go on a spirit journey to like discover the answer inside myself by drinking some sort of liquid?
You're welcome to leave, but as I said, you won't make it to dawn.
No, I don't want to leave. I just, I've heard in stories before that you can like send me to a place of my dreams and I'll have to fight intangible shadow versions of myself and they'll reveal the true knowledge. No, that's not a thing here.
What if I told you that you're already in one?
Well, that makes a lot of sense because an island where everyone who gets shipwrecked ends up sounds pretty improbable.
Does it not?
All right, look, I'm trying to work with you here.
It does not matter to me whether you live or die in the morning.
That's such a creepy thing to say.
Yes, well, as I said, everyone ends up here, boy.
No, wait a second. If it didn't matter to you whether I lived or died, then why are we having this conversation? Shouldn't you have just let me die up on the island? Rather than have me come into this cave?
I want to give you an opportunity to live a life without something that you want. Think of it as a game, if you will.
Do I get the thing back at the end of my life?
You know, I've never had anyone ask that before. At the end of your life, when you've drawn your last breath, I can replace what was taken from you.
How do you feel about taking my sarcasm?
Interesting. So not a witty reply will ever leave your lips?
Well, I've been a boring person before, but it was mostly as a teenager. No, seems like you're considering it for too long.
It is a strange one. I don't see you as someone who relies on something like that to get around.
You sure? I kind of felt like this whole conversation I'd really been setting up for that one, but all right.
Interesting. Well, I'm willing to make a deal on that if you are.
Well, I mean, I'm willing insofar as you've told me it's my only choice, and the alternative is you're lying or I'm dead, so...
Won't it be great when you can't say those things?
No.
I'm sure the world around you will seem a little more drier after this. So she'll stand up and she'll walk over to the wall and pull out like a parchment.
See, I knew it. I knew there'd be a contract to sign. I know how the stories go.
Oh, get it out while you can, boy. Your sarcasm will come to an end.
I don't know if that
Very
was
soon.
sarcasm. That was kind of just like clever observation.
Oh, sarcasm comes in all forms, apparently.
Well, that's going to be rough.
Yes, well, this isn't exactly an easy deal to make. Think of this as a monkey paw. You've heard of them.
So I get a wish out of this?
Your wish is to not die in the morning. Sign here. She hands over like an ink pen with a little that's dripping with ink as she dips it in the little vial there.
Now, I don't have to put my real name on here, right? I can just put what everybody calls me.
I know your real name. You can put.
All right, I'm
whatever
just going
you
to sign
like.
rapier then. That's fine.
The moment you do that, you definitely do feel something leave from within you. And she just starts cackling in your place. It's like, Now, as the contract states, I need to brand you.
Okay.
Where would you like the brand, my lad?
What does it look like?
Do you guys remember what the brand looked like? Because I honestly can't remember what it looked like.
I
believe
can't remember.
It looked like a horseshoe crab.
Yes. It looks like a horseshoe crab.
I'm gonna have to look up what a horseshoe crab looks like.
I honestly couldn't. I honestly couldn't remember that. Honestly, it was.
This animal looks horrendous. I would prefer to take the brand on my ass so no one would ever have to see it.
All right, cool. So you drop trowel. She pulls out a hot iron. Well, not really. You drop trowel, I guess. I don't know. But the brand has already appeared on your buttock. Which one, left or right?
Left.
Left buttock. All right. Yeah, sure. And
This is a lot less painful than I thought it would be. Thank you.
Well, I'm not in the business of hurting people. So she'll hand you.
I had to stop myself from being sarcastic.
Yeah. There will be consequences for sarcasm going forward. Yeah. It's a lot harder than you think. You gave up a pretty good thing, because that's literally like you talking. So some of the other people. So James gave up his what fear? You gave up your fear, right?
Yeah, I gave up all my fears because I had a lot.
Prylor gave up. What was yours again?
Love of country or something like that.
Love of country.
At least that's what I wanted it. I think Wreckage worded it differently, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is, but
yes.
Erik gave up his love of drink, and here's the thing: like, there are people. Everyone in the party does not know the extent of what their curse does, right? Except for Erik, who tried his out almost immediately after taking it. Where any liquid that he intentionally puts into his mouth to swallow will turn to ash, forced or otherwise. And my old character, he gave up his firstborn, which he does not have yet.
I was gonna say, how is that intangible? But
yeah, he well,
very tangible.
Yeah. Well, the idea of his love of his child or whatever it is. And
I hate that witch, by the way. I hate the witch with a passion.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw her in the water. I wanted to pick her up and throw her into the sea so she would be forced to help us, but no, I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah. And she hands you like a jar. In it is like a wax, basically, and she says, I give this to everyone who comes through my waters. This will help you start anew if you find yourself stuck. Now, I will show you how to use it. You simply need to seal yourself within a barrel or a crate or something like that, and seal it with this wax. And once you open it once more, you'll be in a completely different place. And that is what we're going to do for you right now.
Okay.
Please step into this barrel.
Stepping into a barrel.
Mm-hmm. So you step into the barrel, and she smears the top of the barrel with this wax, and before she closes the lid, she will say, "It has been a pleasure working with you, and I will no doubt."
No, I agree.
See you at the end of your life. And she pushes the lid of the barrel down.
Wait, before I go.
Yes?
What was that last thing that you said?
Well, you did want to return your sarcasm on death, and I will honor that part of the contract.
Oh, so I magically transport myself back here?
Well, you'll have to die first, won't you?
No, that's fine. I'm just looking for specifics,
also known as Railroad Island. I just saw that. So she'll push the lid down on the barrel, and then you will hear the sound of men arguing.
I'm gonna Mario out like woo, woo, woo. Like I'm coming out of a tunnel.
So yeah, basically you have come into a room filled with men of all sorts and a lady, and wolves apparently as well. And they are all standing around bickering with one another, swords pointed at each other. It's also worth pointing out that you don't have your rapiers on you right now, but you do have your cloak. And
Hello, friends. Does anyone have a rapier I could borrow?
yeah. So, James, I guess, Samuel and Bjorn, you see a man like emerge from a barrel all too familiarly, and he requests a rapier. So why don't you two give a brief introduction of your characters for AP's sake?
All right.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Yeah, just like your physical description and
So before you, basically he's got his complete skinhead. He's got no hair on his head. Not, because got There's a large brute of a man, bald, stands 6'6" tall, still blue eyes with a little twinkle in them. He's just got like hands that are probably about the size of your own head. It looks like he could crush like grapefruits in them. And he's just like a fucking wall of just person.
Didn't you make a helmet or something like that last time? You have like
a helmet?
Yeah, you got a helmet made for you or something, right?
I got some armor made, yeah.
Yeah. And what was the armor that you got made?
Just, I guess it'd be like Spanish type armor, the El Dictor, whatever it's called, that sort of, the sort of pointy helmet thing.
Sure, yeah. And he's in a group surrounded by pirates, obviously. And those pirates look very similar to the pirates that are on the other side of the conversation. But then there's also another man. Jon, why don't you introduce what you look like?
I'd say I am a rather large person, but not as large as my friend Stone here.
Yeah,
looks like a baby.
I'm about 6'2", which is kind of large, but not as big as Stone. I have decently athletic build. Got some muscles on me because I'm a blacksmith, so I swing a hammer pretty much all day long making armor and stuff. So I have kind of like long braided sandy blonde hair and grayish eyes, and I got a nice big old beard as well. And yeah, that's what I look like.
Nice. And the other person that's worth introducing is Erik, son of Erik, who is the other person here. He is Caucasian, if I remember correctly, but he's also a little rotund, in that he's got a farmer build to him. Probably strong in upper body strength, but he has like a little beer gut as well. He's also wearing a very ornate set of armor, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And a little pirate hat as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, see, that's right. He had the pirate hat.
Yeah.
His armor is ornate and looks like scales, almost like fish scales.
Have any of you noticed the cat sheet's not working?
You might
There's
need
like
to reload.
something. No, there's something missing. Has anyone else got like hero points missing?
No.
Oh
I've
yeah,
I've
you're
already-
right. They're not there.
Oh wow, yeah, that's weird. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, everyone should have 1 hero point right now. So just keep it check mark somewhere else, I guess. I don't know. And the other people that are worth pointing out is
You're here.
yes, there is a Spaniard here, or a Parisian here. He has long black hair, and he has. Oh, the other thing that's worth pointing out, Bjorn has like a bunch of pistols. I think you had like 7 of them or something like that.
Yeah. I have a
it's-
bandolier of pistols.
yeah.
So we
and
went from just for background. So we went from 7th Sea, Savage Worlds,
Yes.
and then we went back to 7th Sea.
Yeah.
Which is where I was able to punch people's head off, and now I can't because we're back in 7th Sea.
I mean, you know, you can narratively impose that on me however you like. And then we have an old pirate by the names of Bubbles, who has a wooden
The worst
leg
nickname.
and he's missing an arm.
But I crafted him with my mind.
Yeah.
That sword arm.
Yes, he does
that
have
he
it.
has.
Like he's missing an arm and he has a sword in its spot.
Yeah,
So-
and for a leg, he's got a flintlock rifle.
Nothing like that. It's just a normal leg. But yeah, that's the party. It's also made. There's also a bunch of wolves behind them and some pirates as well. And
So about that rapier, boys. Also, you're all very, very large.
yeah, so
You're all super tall and large.
Yes.
That's
And
because
there's a bunch
my
of wolves
greens.
behind you. I'd really appreciate a rapier to defend myself from these wolves.
so then
Who are you?
Me? I'm just a traveling swordsman without a sword. The
But
name's
you
Rapier.
travelled in a barrel, though.
Yeah, there was a witch and some wax, a contract.
Wax.
I don't like that witch.
You mean
Oh,
honey?
I hate her. I hate
Yeah,
her.
it
with
kind of
guts,
seems like
yeah.
everybody would hate her.
I want to throw her in the sea so that she'd be forced to us, but I wasn't allowed. for some
lads,
reason.
perhaps we shouldn't be talking about this in front of Captain Ratbeard here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did someone assign him the name Ratbeard? Or is that his actual given name?
Oh, you discover that everyone has terrible fucking nicknames here.
So
I see.
Captain Ratbeard will basically look at you, Rapier, sticking your head out of a barrel, and is like, "Hi, lad. I be Captain Ratbeard.
Do
Now
have a
you said
rapier?
yourself you
Dickhead.
wanted a rapier,
Oops.
yes?
Yes.
I tell you what, you swear your allegiance to myself, and I will give you more than
No.
a rapier."
You don't want to do that. You don't.
That seems
he's
like a
knob.
pretty bad deal.
He's an idiot. You don't. Yeah, he's a knob.
You shut up over there.
I have a cutlass. Could you use a cutlass?
I could, but I'd really prefer a rapier. It's kind of in my name. But yeah, I think I'm pretty handy
Is
with
that
the
actually
cutlass.
your name?
Yeah, my name's Rapier. Definitely not. a
What
nom
is
de guerre.
happening right now? I have no idea.
I think we're having a conversation.
I understand, but we're in the middle of a confrontation, boy.
Oh. Did you know that I'm a skilled duelist of the Matador style?
I don't give a
Flores?
shit if you're a skilled love maker.
No,
of
I'm saying if you need
whores.
someone to join your side, you could just
No,
give me
don't.
a rapier.
You don't want to join his side. He's an idiot.
Oh, well then you give
He-
me a
he-
rapier.
He betrays everyone. He's like the worst.
Oh,
captain
cutlass
ever.
man, you give me your cutlass. I'll fight with you.
I throw my cutlass.
All right, I have a weapon now.
There you
I'm
go.
very dangerous.
See, no one trusts the captain that lies all the time.
So he.
I actually don't care who I fight for at this point. I really just work for money, so
Oh,
I'm
I'll throw
on
a
your
bag of
side.
coins.
So Rapier, I guess, is gonna try jumping out of the barrel and move to stand beside Bjorn.
Are we quite done here now? Can we get this show on the road?
I'll throw this rapier chap a bag of coins.
I don't need this bag of coins.
You said you wouldn't get paid.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take the sword as payment.
Oh,
I
We
won't
have them
double dip.
anyway.
Here's your bag of coins back.
Oh, you can keep them.
Oh, okay.
There's more than 6 in there.
So there's at least 7.
I don't know.
Don't mind Stone. He can't count more than 6.
So, AP,
see.
have you played Seven Seas before? Second edition?
I have not.
Okay. So the rule of thumb here is that you need to make a raise, right? And the way that
Yeah,
you do
you got to
that,
get 10 or more.
but we also, when a confrontation starts, so we do take it in rounds. An initiative is by you break down who has the highest amount of raises, and they get to go until the next set of. So if you have 8 and the next one in line is 6, you get to go use a raise, and then the next person will go, right? So that's how it breaks down. But however, in order to do something, it costs a single raise. So like if you wanted to walk over to someone and stab them, in order to do 1 damage, it would cost you a single raise. But you can, if you wanted to stab someone and do 7 damage, you can spend 7 raises on that first action to do 7 damage to them outright, right? So you can just sort of spend your raises as quickly as you want. However, before the round starts, you need to basically state your approach. Let's say your approach is you wish to convince someone to put down their weapons, right? If you go outside of your approach within that set of raises and attack him with a sword, it'll cost you 2 raises to do 1 thing. So right now, I need you to state what your approach is so I can tell you what dice you need to roll.
I want to. So Rapier's a little confused. The only persons he's talked to are a guy named Ratbeer and Bjorn and Samuel, who appear to be on the same side. I guess he's gonna turn to Bjorn and be like, "Who do you need me to kill?"
It's pretty like even if you were confused, right?
It's like a standoff.
There is like
right?
a line in the sand.
Oh, okay.
You
All
know,
right.
like
Well, then,
they're
yeah,
on one side of the room, the other people are on the other. It's not a melee
mean,
or anything right now, but yeah.
Rapier's approach here is to just advance on Ratbeard as quickly as possible and just like kicking sand or anything in the area around
I don't
as
need to
shittily
know,
as possible and cut this guy down.
Yeah, so I don't need to know the specifics. I just need you to go, I'm going to be aggressive with my sword, right?
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely
really
aggressive.
all you need to say because, you know, in the moment, things will break down. So the way that it breaks down in turn order in this game is there are villains, there's 3 of them. There is Ratbeard, Captain Ratbeard. He is a villain. There is another man. And you can tell because they don't look generic, right? Like anyone who doesn't look generic is a villain. And villains and NPCs, they work at the same way. Whoever has the most raises goes first. If a villain and an NPC tie, a villain and a PC tie, the villain always gets to go first. So there's that. The generic people, basically like globs of, you know, henchmen or whatever.
The Brute Squad.
Yep. They always go last. And the Brute Squad of the enemies always gets to go first before the player's Brute Squad. So there is, you do a quick glance over the amount of people. Right now, you guys have 8 Brutes and 5 Wolves. And the enemies have 17 Brutes and another group of 5 Brutes that are coming. They have 5 Brutes with them and 17 Brutes behind you in another group, right? So that you've basically been surrounded. There is a man in... it's also worth pointing out, Arthur, there is a man inside of a... what can only be described as some sort of weird green magic cylinder. Basically, there are stone rings that are spinning around at an unbelievable rate.
Like an Ion Stone.
Like a what stone?
Ion Stone?
I don't know what that is.
D&D, Pathfinder. All right.
Yeah. And he is inside of this thing. And that is about all you know about it. Okay. So right now, these are the consequences in terms of the order. So right now we have Okay, so what do you want to be aggressive, and how do you want to do it with a sword?
Yep, cutlass.
All right, so let's go with finesse weaponry.
Yep.
Since this is
So
your
I
first...
have a trait here that isn't actually. I don't think you can put it on the character sheet. It's called legendary. Whenever I roll finesse, one of my dice is less, and I always roll 10.
Yep. So the way that we'll do that is, since this is your first roll, you get a bonus dice for it being the first time you've used it in an encounter or a session. We do it with sessions. So if you use finesse now, weaponry now, this is the only time that you'll get that bonus die.
Understood.
I think with a rank 4. Wait, you have no, you don't have rank 4.
You can only have 3 at character creation.
Yeah, you're finesse. That's fine. So rank 3, you get to re-roll a single dice. So make sure you click that re-roll button that's right next to it.
1 second. I just got to quickly get something. So just 1 second.
Mm-hmm. And now all you need to do is click weaponry, and we will set aside. If you want
the last die for finesse for 10.
No, what we'll do is we'll just take off the extra die button, and
so I actually have an extra die for whenever I have a cutlass in hand or a rapier, I get an extra bonus die.
Okay, cool. Then we'll just give you an extra 10 in this instance.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, so the reroll is the same as what you rolled. So basically, out of this, you need to make 10s, and any dice left over from this, I can buy up.
I got 40.
40. All right, so you got 5 and 5 and 10. So another 10. You got 3 10s, and then you got 6 and 4, which is another 10, and then you've got an 8 and a 5, which is another 10. So you got 50.
I didn't have to take the reroll.
No,
I guess the bonus
the reroll.
All right, yeah, now I get it. It. I understand. I thought I had 48, but I actually have 53. Got it.
Yeah, but yeah. So basically, I can buy up the individual dice, which is why you need to use the actual dice as they come up. Because any leftover I can buy, you get a hero point for it, but I also get a danger point for whatever it is that I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to put this on your turn order here. You have 5 of 5, and you're being aggressive with sword. Okay, so basically, if you are going to be aggressive without the sword, it's going to cost you 2 raises to do so. And yeah, so this is how we're going to break it down. So we rolled everyone's approaches at the end of last session for this fight. We just didn't get to do the actual fight. So I'm going to remind everyone, Eugene, which has 8 of 8 raises, he wants to be aggressive with his sword fight, and he's already explained to me what that's going to be at the start of this, so we can go ahead and do that. Followed by James with 6 of 6. You wanted aggressive manhandling. Yep.
Yep.
And
I
then
wanted to manhandle Captain Ratbeard. That's what I was attempting to go.
Grab him by the
rat beard.
Yep.
And AP, you're next with aggressive sword fighting. And Prylor, you're at 4 of 4 with shooting guns. So yeah, I've rolled everyone else's things. It's also worth pointing out that one of the men that you are involving in right now is fairly injured. One of the villains is injured at this point, because that doesn't go away essentially. So yeah, so let's go. The consequences right now is at 6. So basically, unfortunately, what's going to happen here, the consequences for turn order 6 or raise 6 is that the reinforcements are going to come from behind you. These are the 17 brutes that are in the barracks right now that have been alerted. They are going to be alerted of you because Eugene will spend 1 raise to do what he's doing, and that's it. He'll spend his 2 raises, and because he's not here, the consequence will happen. At 2 consequences, that's when the actual 17 brutes will show up. So if you want to say block the entrance somehow as to where the reinforcements are going to come from before we get down to 2 raises left, you can stop the 17 brutes from showing up into the fight. And at number 1, basically, the man in the pillar will make environmental issues happen for everyone, essentially. So that's how we're going to do it. So let's go ahead and go.
I have a question, though.
Mhm.
So we all have, like, a quest.
Oh,
like, mine's finding... Is he going to have one? Just in case it, comes up that somehow in this fight
Good point.
progress.
Yes. Okay, good point. So Arthur, the way that you progress in this game, as you probably know, is you make stories.
Right, with story. I was actually interested in not having a story to start with. I just want to see how the game plays before I lock myself into one. I know that means I basically won't get rewards for this episode, but
you can always change the story whenever you want. Like you can abandon the story and do whatever. So is there anything like maybe you want to get 1 dot in, say, aim or something like that? Like that would be like, maybe use a pistol for the first time in your life or something like that.
I'd be okay with the story that works toward getting money to start the orphanage. Even if it's just looting these people and selling their belongings.
Okay, so there's actually a thing in 7C for wealth, which is what I believe you should go towards. So let's take a look here. I think
it's called Rich, I believe. Hang on, I'm muted, ain't I?
No, you're
No,
not.
I'm not.
Nope, we can hear you.
I think Eugene's here because he just hosted me. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah, let's take a look here. Traits. Where is it? Yeah, here. Not traits. Oh, what is your trait, by the way? Your background. What did you pick for that?
Oh, speak of the devil.
Background trait.
Oh God, it's Erik.
Hey,
Great
just in
question.
time.
Yay.
And
Wealthy.
wealthy, yeah. So did you pick a background because that also gives you a quirk?
Yeah.
Wealthy is a 3-point perk. It increases your wealth level by 2 at the beginning of every session.
My quirk is duelist, and
Okay, yep. Earn a hero point when you resort to the edge of your blade to defend a noble ideal.
yeah,
Cool.
I also have a second quirk, I think, from being a former assassin.
An assassin?
Yep.
How did you get a second quirk? Oh no, you got 2 of them, right?
Everybody takes 2 backgrounds.
So you earn a hero point when you go out of your way to avoid the death of an adversary.
when I stop
or
killing
outright
people.
refuse a course of action because it results in another person's death. All right, yeah, cool. So you got psst over here as well. Nice, I like it. It's a good one. All right. What? Let's see. Where is the perks in here? Is it advantages? Yes, advantage. Sorry, not a perks. 3 points. 3-point advantage. So, let's see here. Rich. You sure? Oh, there. Yeah, you begin each session with 3 wealth. Okay. So in order for you to get this as an advantage, you would need to have 3 stories happen basically within 3 sessions, right? So as long as you work towards gaining wealth in a session, you can complete 1 arc of your story, right?
Okay.
So that's basically how that works. So basically, as long as you say, GM, I would like to work on my story by going out of my way to collect wealth. So yeah, as long as you do that, everything happens. So Eugene, I guess you're up first, man. Welcome to the party.
Oh,
Perfect timing.
Yeah, literally. We were just about to get into it, and you walked in. So
You just like
Nice.
skipped all the boring shit. Good
Yeah.
job.
I just like both me and AP are pursuing wealth.
Wow. I like how you said everything else before this was boring.
I was
Yeah.
fucking joking.
Prylord just throwing down an hour's worth of content.
Yeah.
So that was sarcasm. I can still do that.
Yeah.
Do you even
You're
know what it
indicating
means?
that other people are not allowed to use sarcasm?
Yep.
I've
Arthur gave up his
signed away my
sarcasm.
sarcasm.
Hmm?
I've
have a
signed away my
boring-ass
sarcasm
duelist.
to an evil witch.
Oh, you fool. And what was the exact wording you used? This will be important later, but for now, I'd like to know.
Man, I have no idea what the exact wording was.
His
I'm sure
exact
Dave will
his
remind
exact
me.
wording is, "I will give up my sarcasm."
Mm. Mm.
But
I'm sure
he has not
we won't twist that at all.
he has not attempted to be sarcastic since taking
He
it.
regains his sarcasm on death.
It's going to be Guardian of the Galaxy.
There's also a stipulation in his contract that he gets it when he gets it. He retains it when he gets it back when he dies. So
In the afterlife, he can be sarcastic again.
He doesn't believe in the afterlife.
Well, that's okay. We believe in the afterlife for you.
So
Okay.
we murder him, bring him back to life, and then he can be sarcastic again.
Easy.
So yeah, the consequences. Let me remind you again. There, Eugene. At 6 raises, the alerting of reinforcements will happen. At 2 raises, the reinforcements will arrive, and at 1 raise, the man in the cylinder will create environmental issues for everyone. The opportunities right now is you can spend a raise to retrieve the key off Blackbeard, and then you can spend another raise to remove the man from the pillar without damaging the pillar.
Okay. And I'm at how many raises?
8.
And who's the next highest raise?
That would be James. That would be the alerting reinforcements consequence happening.
Okay. So I'm going to use my first raise to, as I pass the El Capitan, I'm going to cut the key off of his person, wherever it is, grab the key.
Yep.
So that will be my first raise. My second raise, I will be purchasing off the reinforcements by stabbing dude inside of 8 horsepower spinny dome of death and letting my sword spin around at 8 horsepower and turn him into an apple peeler inside of spinny dome of death.
Okay.
Well, I guess it was just a spinny dome. Now it's a spinny dome of death.
Actually, the alerting of reinforcements was, I believe, another man running to the... Oh, wait, no. Was it?
No, it was him.
It was him?
Yeah. The captain told him to call reinforcements.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you do 1 damage to the brute inside of the pillar. Paying off both things. And both of them were done with aggressive sword fights. However, you do not have a sword now, so
Yeah.
that is fine.
And the inside of the thing is a bit messy. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. All right. So, because of that, the alerting of reinforcements won't happen. However, the sound of battle will still alert the reinforcements at raise 2 happening. So, you've averted 1 of the consequences. So, James, it is now your turn. How would you like to spend some raises?
Well, I was going to use Reckless Brush Pass to take the key off the captain, but Eugene's already done that.
Yep.
So I might. So yeah, I'm just gonna. So Stone's just gonna sort of like charge forward and just grab the captain and just push him against the wall as hard as he can. Just literally just basically body slam him into the wall.
And how many raises would you like to appease for your damage?
I've got 6, right?
You do have 6, yes.
I'd like to spend 3 of them.
Okay. So yeah, you grab Ratbeard by his ratty beard and you pull him towards a wall and smash him into it. he winces in pain as you do that, and then he says, "You're going to have to do better than that, lad. You're not the first man to put me into a wall, and you won't be the last."
Oh, Captain, I didn't know you were into that.
I'm into a lot of things, boy. It is now AP. Actually, you get to go next.
Yeah, I want to advance on Ratbeard and using the cutlass's blade, continue to slash at him.
How many raises?
While flourishing my cloak. I'm going to spend 1 raise to perform the slash maneuver and deal my 3 weaponry damage.
Okay, so you've got slash. So a basic maneuver used to attack, but one that even the most gifted street thug wishes she could master. When perform a slash, deal a number of wounds equal to your ranks in weaponry. Okay. So let me just see here. Tending blah 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 blah. Perform maneuver. Spend a raise on your action. Duelist can perform one and only one maneuver on each of his actions. I.e., duelist cannot spend 2 raises to declare that he is slashing, parrying in a single action. Duelist can still spend multiple raises to perform multiple maneuvers within an action sequence as separate actions. In addition,
and
the duelist
can't use the same one twice.
Yeah,
Yep.
The duelist can never perform the
In a
same
row.
maneuver in consecutive actions. You cannot perform slash and then action bring me slash. The duelist may perform a maneuver twice in the same round as of an action sequence, but there must be an additional maneuver or non-dueling actions between repeated maneuvers. So, you're doing 3 damage to Ratbeard, is that what you said?
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you, as Samuel Stone pushes the man, Samuel Stone forces a man to eat other stones. You come up and you give him what for, slashing him like a madman.
I prefer if I'm assuming Ratbeard has a ratty beard. Yes.
I mean,
No, don't expect that in this fucking game. No.
It's
Actually, I don't think he does.
We're not sure.
got-
his beard is
Beautiful.
like braided and it's like wavy, like, you know.
I definitely want to, with my slashing, take off a couple hairs.
He's getting
Oh.
aggro.
Lad, you've pissed in the pot now. So you're spending 1 raise. Okay. Prylor, would you like to? You're next, so would you like? Actually, Samosa and Ratbeard will go now.
I mean, I'm still at 6.
Oh, you are. Sorry, my bad. Absolutely, you should have been before AP, but that's all right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 2 raises actually to do something outside of my approach, and I'm going to use the key to turn off the pillar, get inside the pillar, and start activating the pillar.
Okay. So that'll put you down to 4. But so yeah, you've never been in a pillar before.
Correct.
So it's kind of like you step inside and, you know, it's a little giblet-y in here. There's pink.
It's a wee bit messy.
A wee bit messy. You cast aside the skull that is in 4 pieces of the man, and you step inside, and you're instantly filled with like a happy sensation, and it's sort of like it washes all over your body. The green and luminescent light sort of envelops you, and you start to like, for example, right now, you feel the ever-present weight of a mountain. You feel every rock sliding down your rocky surface. You feel a bird landing on the peak of your snow-tipped peak, I guess. And
Do I feel Prylor James and AP inside of me?
you do. Yeah.
Nice.
You feel men inside of you. They're insignificant in size and scope, almost like ants crawling on your leg. It's not a bad sensation, but at the same time, you almost forget yourself. You're almost pushed aside with the immense amount of like breath that you're feeling. You feel the wind hitting every face of your body. and you feel a bubbling sensation deep lower in your diaphragm as well. But yeah, you're inside of this. You're inside of the sphere here. The cylinder, the pillar.
And all of a sudden,
All right.
cabbages appear.
So because it took my turn just to get in there and activate the thing, I'm just going to make the assumption that I will not be able to do a thing until I get back down to 4 actions.
There you go. All right, so Samosa and Ratbeard are going to take a turn now. So Ratbeard, having had his fill of these 2 little ants swinging and kicking him, he's going to spend 2 hit points on 2 raises on basically forcibly removing Samuel's hand from his face and simultaneously slashing him with the sword. So if you could take 2 hit points for me, please, Mr. James.
Can I can spend 2 raises to counter that, can't I?
You can. Would you like to do that?
Which I would like to do that, yes, please.
Okay. So you are down to 1 raise. As what you have left over.
Yes.
Samosa, seeing an opportunity to attack the man that is attacking his captain, will do so. So AP, I'm going to use 3 raises to attack you. How would you like to respond?
Well, if I can spend raises, I'd sure love to spend one on a feint maneuver to block 3 wounds. I'm sorry, a parry maneuver.
You can't spend it like that. It's not your action.
I can activate it on an action immediately following the maneuver that caused my wounds. Am I next?
You are... Yes, you are within that. So... Posturing, positioning in such a way your opponent drops his guard or tries to block an attack that never comes. When you feint, you deal 1 wound if your target
Sorry, I'm not trying to feint. I said it wrong. I'm trying to parry, which will block 3 wounds.
The art of putting your weapon between yourself and harm. Perform parry to prevent a number of wounds equal to your ranks in weaponry. You can only activate parry on your action immediately following the maneuver that caused you wounds. So, yes. So he will do 3 damage to you. Putting him at 1 raise. So basically he starts to bring down the sword. So you're going to spend 1 to do that? Okay, so that puts you at 3. And Eugene or Prylor? Probably Prylor.
Prylor, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think how do the guns exactly work again? I know they do dramatic wounds, right?
Yes, so you can spend... You do 1 raise to do 1 wound and a dramatic wound on someone. But you can spend additional raises to do additional wounds to them. If that makes sense.
I thought it was just 1 dramatic wound, and then if you spent additional raise, it was like 2 wounds per additional raise.
I can double check, but I seem to remember it like that. Let me take a look here.
I think it just one-shots people, right? I mean, it's a gun.
Well, it causes a dramatic wound. That's not exactly a one-shot.
Yeah,
especially
I know.
Villains.
And actually, isn't it like when they are wounded once, it's actually somewhat beneficial?
They don't get the same benefits that we do.
No, villains do. Villains get the same benefits. 100%.
I thought villains were very similar to.
Yeah, villains get.
They do get the dramatic wound benefits.
Yes, they do. Let me take a look here real quick to make sure though. Where the fuck is this thing?
It's under wounds. I remember
I'm looking for the gun stuff actually, but
yeah, no, the gun stuff was under wounds.
Oh, it's under wounds. Okay.
If I recall correctly, the last time we had to look it up, we were like, "What a stupid place to put that."
Yeah. Where the fuck is it on this thing? Is it action sequence? Hero points, pressure, danger pool. Okay, wounds and dramatic wounds. Okay. Marking wounds. Firearms. A pistol or musket in hand of hero or villain represents serious danger. Firearms are relatively easy to use and their effects are devastating. Brute squads, of course, only inflict their normal damage no matter what weapons they are using. Anyone shot by a firearm from a hero or a villain takes 1 dramatic wound in addition to all other normal effects from the attack. If you shoot another character with firearms using 2 razors, that character takes 2 wounds and 1 dramatic wound. The target cannot use raise to negate the dramatic wound from a firearm, but he might be able to minimize the damage, but he can't dodge the bullet. The good news is that a gun takes 5 razors to reload. That means any villain or hero who uses a firearm has to spend 5 razors, either in the same action or over the course of several actions or rounds, to reload the gun. Bad news is that guns in this setting become more advanced, more deadly, and easier to reload on every passing day. Let's see. Dramatic wounds.
It specifically says
Heroes. Yeah, you might be right there. You might be right. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to just do that. Okay, so who would you like to shoot?
I don't like Samosa, but I don't like rat beer.
Samosa already has 1 dramatic wound.
Yeah, Samosa probably hasn't healed from our last fight.
No, they heal wounds, but they don't heal dramatic wounds.
Yeah, so. Completely healed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My guy would be more interested in taking out Ratbeard.
Okay, so you want to... so here's the thing. You have 4 razors right now.
And 7 pistols.
Right? Mm-hmm. If you were to do 4 more damage to Ratbeard, he would take a dramatic wound. But you're also doing a dramatic wound by shooting the man. So technically, he's going to take 2 dramatic wounds if you use 4 razors. Which is all your razors.
It's not a bad way to use the action sequence.
The other thing that you could do is you could just wait your turn and shoot him again with another pistol.
I mean, you could also do 4 dramatic wounds and use all 4 of your pistols with your actions.
Yeah, I think I am going to... I'm gonna play it out like that. I'm gonna take one shot, one point, and
Yep. Okay, so
take my pistol goes into slow-mo. You see the flintlock come down, strike the black powder.
Ting!
Poof! Just a big billow of smoke out of the musket, or sorry, the
pistol.
Pistol, yeah.
So
and
this all happens like at the same time, right? He's brushing off Samuel Stone, and he's bringing down his rapier on him, which Samuel Stone is like weathering like a badass, and then a ball bearing just goes and just hits him in the shoulder or something like that.
You see, like, you know that shot where it does like the slow mo in, and then you see the blood just gush out a little bit, and like you can tell, man, that hurt. That hurt. Yeah,
you could say it was dramatic.
Yes, exactly. Super dramatic.
Okay. Cool. So he like winces in pain, and he points his sword at you, and he's just like, "You won't be doing that again, lad, or I'll make you regret it."
See, the thing is,
I got 6 more.
I suspect he will be doing that again.
Yeah. So, I'm going to put here. Make sure you have 7 pistols in total. And reloading them costs 5 razors, but you've got 6 left over that you can spend without too much problem. So that costs you 1 AP. Your turn.
I will slash Captain Ratbeard.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you tune. Yes, sorry. Absolutely. I keep forgetting about you because, like, for some reason my thing doesn't scroll all the way up. So
no, it's quite all right. Yeah. So. Since this is, again, an action outside of the scope, as I am no longer using my sword, I am going to... our allies are in here with us or not?
They are, yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool. There's a convenient place that I could just create a wall and wall us off from, say, his reinforcements?
The 17 brutes that are going to show up?
Yep.
Why don't you just... lock them in the in the barracks, just close off.
That's fine too.
Yeah, so you're like listly flying through space, feeling the breeze on you, just like, it's calming. The sounds of battle sort of fade away as you just sit there listening to the sea roll up against your toes. For some reason your toes are an entire island. It's weird, but it feels good. Feels good. And then you shake and remind yourself about this.
There's a problem.
These ants are like just fucking biting you and swinging swords and shooting pistols, and we get like a startled reaction of some men who are like playing poker in the other room, and he's like
lads, was there a wall there?
And they're just like, I hear the distinct sound of gunfire coming from the other room. That's weird, right? And then
lads, do we have any target practice going on right now?
No, target practice is supposed to take place next week. It's like,
Did someone trip the tripwire and fire the cannon?
No, the cannon would be significantly larger in size and sound.
Well, I lost an ear.
Do you know what my favourite thing is? That I like that Henley's like trying to replicate wreckage. Yeah, and doing it really well as well.
It is. It's pretty good.
This is like, and then it's like, we should go check that out. And they start walking towards the thing. Then it goes, and a fucking wall just appears out of nowhere. Arthur, you can be sarcastic. You just don't know what the results of you being sarcastic will actually be.
I mean, I made a promise to not be sarcastic, though.
No. You gave up your sarcasm. You gave up your sarcasm, not I will stop being sarcastic.
Right. But the important part is that I've made an oath, and as a duelist, I do my best to follow my oaths, which is why I didn't take the extra coin bag. I agreed to fight for the price of one sword. It's
true. So yeah, that'll.
I feel like I'm missing a lot of AP's character. Fill me in on the break, please.
Yeah. So that will cut off the reinforcements, and subsequently, since you remove the man from the thing, it'll also cut off the environmental issues showing up as well. So you're now 2 of 8. AP, it is your turn.
I will slash Ratbeard again. And this time, instead of being a bunch of thrusts, it's actually going to be a slash in an attempt to take off his entire beard. And maybe we get a couple nicks on his face in the process. So that's 3 weaponry damage.
Yes, which is enough for him to take another dramatic wound as you slice the beard off of his face, revealing a really gaudy, terrible neck tattoo.
That tattoo looks terrible. I can understand why you'd grow the beard.
It is a shame that I cover up as much as I can, lad, but...
It must have taken years.
It's more like 7 months, but don't...
Don't worry, no one's going to see it in your casket.
He sort of looks at you, he's taken aback as like, you bring down the slash and it like, cuts across his chest and, leaves a mark, but also you see more of a terrible tattoo on his actual chest as well.
That's fine. That's where you put terrible tattoos, and on your left butt cheek.
So he will. So that will cost you 1, right?
Yeah. Dreadfully curious about AP's left butt cheek now.
Oh, that's right.
Apparently, I have a horseshoe crab there now.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's where he put the brand.
That's where he put his brand. Yeah.
You don't want to put it anywhere anyone's going to see regularly. A horseshoe crab ain't a cool looking animal.
Horseshoe crabs are awesome.
I like the idea that there's a guy right now just like, well, back to the tattoo in the barracks. He's like horseshoe crabbing a tattoo onto our guys. He's like, I really love the horseshoe crab. See, this is the best part about this game is that you can just fucking do this sort of shit and it doesn't have any consequences whatsoever. Anyway, speaking about consequences, Prylaw, you're up, my man.
Struggling. Pull out another pistol from my bandolier.
Mm-hmm.
Same slow-mo. Just fire the pistol right at Ratbeard again.
1, raise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's just like, getting his fucking tattoos exposed and all that sort of shit. And he's just like, all right, this combat is pissing me right off, lads. And then he's just like, and he's just like, fucking stop it.
Oops, it happened again.
So 1 damage, yeah, and a dramatic wound. He sort of like starts to kneel over a little bit, and he's just like, coughing up blood onto the terrible tattoos that are now exposed. And that is where
Samosa, you're next.
that is where Salty Susie will act. And she sort of looks at the situation a bit of Ratbeard getting fucking gunned down. Just you're just terminating this dude. You're just like
Yep.
you know,
all
like,
just like
and if you think about it, right, like this is sort of like kind of thematic of a pirate, right? This fucking dude, Scourge of the Sea, you're literally filling him full of fucking shot, right? And the guy's only going down now. Like there's 3 people on this dude, and he hasn't gone down yet, but he's getting there. Susie will sort of look at everyone, look at the situation, and she'll just sort of like, she'll spend a raise to like basically put her weapon back in its holster and sit on a barrel and just go and just, it's like, Captain, you don't pay me enough to want to jump in on this flurry, so we'll see how you handle this. And Captain Ratbeard's just like, oh, you wench, you won't live to see the end of this. And she's like, I think our new friends are doing their work on you. And he sort of like grits his teeth, and there's blood in his mouth and all that sort of stuff. And, his beard looks fucking awful. There's like a big clump of it on the ground now. And Ratbeard will, in turn, pull out a pistol, and he says, "Hi, lad, you fucked up." And he's going to shoot at Bjorn. And he's going to spend his 2 raises to shoot to the only pistol that he has, giving a dramatic wound to Bjorn
and how
Svensson.
many?
So you
That's-
take 2 wounds, and you take 1 dramatic wound.
Shit, I've forgotten. You get something for having 1 dramatic wound, don't you?
Yes,
Something
you do. You
positive.
get a hero with 1 or more dramatic wounds rolls a bonus die on all risks, which you did last turn. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Because you have a dramatic wound. I am aware of that. Remember, we did roll our risks last time, so that's why you haven't gotten that bonus yet. So yeah, take a dramatic wound. So yeah. Let's see here. Bubbles and Ricardo can go now. Bubbles will sort of like lean back and say, he'll spend his turn to the 5 brutes that are here with them, right? In the room, and he'll say to them, he's like, "Hey, it seems you lads are a bit outnumbered now. What do you say you come over here and I don't have to put my 2 parts of my metal arm inside of you?" Which one that will turn. One of them will sort of like, he'll like, he'll put his sword in, and then he'll start to walk over, and another man will put his hand on him and be like, "No, lad, not yet." And he'll just sort of look at him and is like, "I don't want to fight you." And he's like, "I'll remember your face, lad. Don't worry. I will save you from the shiving." Ricardo, on the other hand, he is going to take this opportunity to join in on the Duelist Academy showdown that is happening right now. Spend a raise. Let me see. What did I actually put his thing at? Weaponry. Okay, yeah, he's going to spend a raise to do 2 damage to Mr. Samosa. Yeah, Mr. Samosa. So he would do 8 to him. Cool. All right, and Eugene, AP, Prylo.
Okay. So, as I got in here by stabbing the dude that was previously in here and turning him into a pile of goo, I don't particularly want that to happen to me. So I am going to create a barrier around this spinny thing, so people cannot get to me and stab me. That will be what I spend my last 2 raises upon.
Sure. So you create this, I guess, a cylinder within a cylinder, and basically the room turns a darker shade of not illuminated. So it is actually a lot harder to see in here, but that doesn't stop you guys from spending raises. Just thematically, it's darker in the room now. Now that the main source of light from the room has been, removed. So, AP, Prowler?
I think that Rapier is definitely going to attempt a feint on Ratbeard. And he's going to do it by being the shittiest person possible. He's going to be like, ha-ha! 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 I can see your every move, Ratbeard! Ha-ha! That will cause 1 wound, and the next time he gets hurt, he gets another wound.
Alright, posturing and positioning in such a way that your opponent drops his guard or tries to block an attack that never comes. When performing a feint, you deal 1 wound. If your target is injured again this round, he suffers an additional wound.
I have a feeling that's going to happen
Yeah.
really soon.
And that only costs you the 1. This is why Duelist Academies are good. But yeah.
The duelist seems pretty
But
badass.
don't worry, this is literally the only thing he can do. And maybe he's good at dancing. That's about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's important we have a dancer in the party.
Yeah. So Prowler.
Yeah, because I'm the brains, you see. I'm clearly the brains.
So
Yeah,
you've shot
clearly.
two pistol now. You've got
That's 2 of 7. And
2 of
then,
7.
I'll take the 3rd one. I've taken a shot back, and I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna continue shooting the.
Going for the 3-peat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
So do you say
bam.
anything before you end this man's life?
No. I don't say a damn thing. I just kill him.
Just look at him with steely determination.
Yeah. So he
kind of like one arm grabbing where he shot me, and just the other one just outstretched.
Yeah. He's like.
I let go. So
basically, before you fill him full of the final shot, he looks at you, and you can tell me at any point when you actually do the final shot. But he looks at you and he says, "He's like, you remember my face, boy. It won't be the last time you see it, because I'm going to come back at you from the." And he falls down, and the last shot is right between the eyes. Captain Ratbeard has made his last stand.
Yay! Not that I agree with murder, but he was a tosser.
Yeah.
he was an asshole.
I don't care.
So Samosa, seeing everything that's going on, he's just going to be like, he turns to the brutes and he's like, well, what are you doing standing there? Go get them, kill them. And the brutes are going to stand there just kind of just like, oh, actually, sir, I get. And the other one just puts his hand on his mouth again. It's just like, not the time, lad. It's just like, yeah, one of the brutes will say, the man who holds our contract is dead. We don't hold any allegiance to you. And it's like, and Samosa's like, then the captaincy falls to me, you stupid idiots. And he's like, I think not. I think we are going to throw our sword in with these lads. And he turns to, I guess, Erik, son of Erik, and he's like, Erik, you're a good chef. What say you? You want a few more on your salt?
The more the merrier.
So he'll do the dramatic. He'll like remove his hand from the guy that gave up before, and he's just like, "Now, lad." So he'll like sort of like jog over to the other side of the room. And Samosa's basically over there by himself. Susie's sitting on the barrels, just sort of like looking at her nails, and he's like, "You picked the wrong side, Samosa. Maybe you should give up." And Samosa like picks up a second rapier from the ground, and he's like, "I don't think so." So yeah, Samosa, with his injury, standing defiantly in front of you, will spend his final raise to attack Stone for 1 wound.
What?
You are the one closest
Fine.
to him.
Fine, I'll take a wound.
Take a singular wound.
Just a little cut to remember Samosa by.
Yeah. AP.
And this tiny scratch is where I got attacked by a small insignificant character in the first chapter of the game.
So
I'm
Susie,
going to do something, though. I'm going to try and do something if I get to go first.
So Susie will spend her final raise being like, "Oh, don't be an idiot, Samosa. Your life is worth more than a dead captain." And Samosa just doesn't say anything, just starts heaving, going into like a battle trance or whatever. So AP, Prior Lord James, how would you like to go?
So from Rapier's point of view, things just got very, very weird here. He's super disappointed with everybody who's flipping to his side. He's just looking around. He's like, "Don't you people have any honor or follow your oaths anymore?"
Aye, we're pirates. We go where the work is, lad.
"Well, I don't trust you. You there. Name of a salty dish flavored Indian thing made with potatoes. Samosa.
What was samosas are the triangle things?
I don't like this woman that's sitting on the barrel over there. Make me your opponent, and I will fight you honorably."
Samosa looks at you and is like, "There's no honor in pirates."
I
lad."
immediately slash at him while he's talking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna do slash. So
Yeah, 3 more points.
okay. No worries.
And while I'm in his face, I'm just like, "I'd leave you alive, but you seem like you really want to go down fighting, so..."
Mm-hmm. All right. Prowler, James.
I was gonna say as he slashes him at the same time, I was paying attention to the conversation, but I had my gun drawn, and once he slashed him, I pulled the trigger on another pistol.
Okay, so that's.
Can you just not hear the conversation over the sound of the gunshot?
I mean, he has fired 3 pistols in a cavern in rapid succession. I'm not sure any of us are hearing much of anything.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what did you say?
We swap back to the people inside of the barracks, just like, this wall seems to have come from nowhere, but I can still hear the fight going on outside. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. How's the tattoo looking? It's like, crabby, and he's like, nice.
Nice.
And then we go back to the fight happening right now, with I guess Samosa taking a bullet. His second dramatic wound. And he reels back and he's just like, "You're a coward, you know that. Using weapons like this. Where's your honor? And don't say that it's in the bottom of the barrel like everyone else is here. I know you
I'm just
better
gonna
than this."
punch him in the face. It's just gonna- There's my honor.
Samosa, you picked the wrong group to talk to. I'm in here. I'm the talkative one. They're more action-based.
So his voice is sort of like booming and echoing everywhere. And like we go over to the other side where like they're inside the barracks and they're just like, Samosa's doing what now? And then Bubbles and Ricardo. Bubbles is not going to do much. He's just going to sit down He's not going to sit down. He's just going to lean back. And Ricardo, on the other hand, he's going to do 1 more slashing damage to Samosa, putting it at 1 of 10 for the next dramatic wound. And then, basically the eyes of the wolves all glow blue, and they actually no, the wolves jump from behind you guys and start to ravage poor Samosa, giving him another dramatic wound in the process. Basically, his limbs are all attached by different wolves, and he cries out in pain, and he says, Booker, I'll get you for this life or the next. And yeah, at this point he has 1 dramatic wound left. He's bleeding from just about every orifice possible. The wolves are hanging off every one of his limbs. Do you give this man mercy and try to take him as a captive, or do you go for another round of...
I'd like a recurring villain, so I'm going to take him captive or whatever, or let him go. Just say, bugger off. If we see you again, we will kill you.
Ravier's going to look at Bjorn, since Bjorn's the one that hired him to join the fight, and just be like, well, what do you want me to do here?
I'd say we kill him.
All right, I'm just going to keep stabbing him.
No. Let's just let him go.
I keep stabbing
useless. him. I'll get in the way.
Well, let's do another round then.
Technically speaking, we still have our brute squad to attack as well.
Yeah, but they're not going to they're like not controlled by one man who has,
I was gonna say,
a
like,
vendetta.
I'd be having my pistol like aimed at his head to finish him off, unless I get convinced otherwise.
That's why we'll do this round of approaches, right? So that if James wants to impose his will on everyone, actually no, let's roleplay this out, because it's PCs imposing on other PCs, right? So
there's a system for that called pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Under pressure.
Mm-hmm. Heroes or villain uses skills to coerce, lure, seduce, or influence another character's action. This is called pressure. When a hero or villain applies pressure, she forces her target to act in a way that she chooses, or spends additional raises if he wants to take an action. First, the character applying pressure chooses a specific action. Attack me, run away are good examples. The next time the hero target chooses to do anything other than the directed action, he must spend an additional raise. So we're not going to do a whole sequence here to do this, but we're going to do like a single risk, right? A singular risk. And James, how would you like to apply pressure here?
Just by fucking intimidation, and my just bulk.
Bulk?
My
All right.
large presence.
So brawn, intimidate, I guess, would be appropriate here. You can have a bonus die since it's the first time you're doing it this turn. What is your intimidate rating at?
Intimidate is at 3.
So you get a bonus dice on top of that.
I also gain a bonus 1 dice on any risk that is easier due to your size, using athletics to run, blah blah blah, or looming over someone in order to intimidate them.
Okay, sure. So you get the bonus. You get an additional single bonus die.
How the fuck do we do that?
You just roll a d10.
Roll a d10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you get the bonus die for the action being used. So you just click bonus die. You get the reroll for having 3 in your trait. Roll it up and then roll a d10 for me too as well.
Okay.
Okay, so shit, that's a really good roll. So the 2 becomes a 3. So you got 10, 10. You got 3 and 9.
He's got that thing where you can turn 15 into 2. Remember?
No, that's only if I got a 4. It's only if you got a 4 in a skill.
Okay. All right.
And that was for
Oh really? Oh okay. So is that like a actual thing that you had to take, or?
No, it's just when you go up to level 4.
Yeah,
So
when you're
on
level
level
4.
3, you get rerolls, and Then level 4, you get every 15 you make is cast as counted as 2 successes. And then 5, 10 explodes. So you can constantly re-roll the 10s.
Okay, so you got 3 there that I'm counting, and then you've got
Hang on,
4
right, so I've got,
for the 6
got
and
10.
yeah, 10, 10,
2,
3 and 9,
and 2.
and then 4 and 6, and then an 8 and 9. So that's you got 5. And that uses all the dice too. So you can
Oh, I still get 1 additional dice. Hang on.
yeah, you can roll that 10 if you like.
Never know. I could get a 10. No.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, as long as the villainous count spends a raise paying attention. So basically, you have to spend raises to convince an individual person to not do something. So in this case, it sounds like Rapier and Bjorn are going to attempt to coup de grace this man in, narrative speak. Would you like to... so basically, I guess Samuel Stone is applying pressure to both of you. So...
Yeah, I will be like, we're not cold-blooded murderers. That will make us just as bad as Captain Ratbeard.
Yeah.
No one can be as bad as Captain Ratbeard. That facial tattoo on his neck is pretty bad.
I'm going to show the fucking tattoo I got on my fucking wrist. 'Cause that's just as bad.
Listen, friend. I know that you think you're doing this man a favor, but he really, really wants to die. He made that clear several times. And you might not be cold-blooded murderers, but I'm a duelist. I literally kill people for money, and I have a job to do. This guy told me to kill him.
I'm going to stop you then.
I would rather you not. If you stepped aside, I could get my job done.
No.
Bjorn, you have
Still.
you're being pressured into this as well. So the way that you get around the pressure is oh, okay. The villain can apply the same pressure to all heroes in a scene with a single raise and a danger. Okay, well, you don't have danger points, so for example, you have to wait until the count has broken the spell by spending 2 raises or do something besides pay attention. So this it really comes down to I guess what you guys want to do here, right? So
I mean, is it Bjorn and I are rolling our counter offer of whatever we're doing and then see who has more raises?
So this is
which side has more raises?
So this is kind of like the problem with this situation, right? You can't the threat of because health is such a weird floaty sort of thing in this game. Also, you should have got an extra dice for being injured, by the way, there, James. So if you want to roll another one.
I'm actually completely fine with him
Just 6
I
raises.
can add them together.
negotiating me out of this murder.
Okay.
Because I will be bitter as fuck about this if I run into him and he's a problem later, and I can play into that.
So, well, I mean, let's roleplay then. Mention that in character.
It's not negotiating. I'm fucking trying to intimidate you both with my just bulk and size.
Right. I'm trying to tempt you away from doing that.
Okay, so let's get. So how are you? So Prylor, what would you roll in this instance?
I have no idea. I don't.
I mean, you're trying to coup de grace him, so probably aim.
Oh no, this is to surpass his.
To convince Stone to let him coup de grace him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
basically.
guess-
So.
I would roll convince. I have nothing in it though, but that's what I would be doing because I would be saying that we left him alive before and he became a problem already.
It's true.
All right, so in your case, that's like panache convince. Yeah,
Which is gonna be a great roll.
which is 2 dice.
Go get him.
Do
You
I
get an
get
extra
extra
dice.
or-
You get the extra
Okay.
dice for it being the first time you used it,
And not a reroll.
and
And
not
you get
mean,
an extra dice because you have a dramatic wound.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just roll
a D10. Yeah.
after I roll this. So that's convince.
that's 2 dice. That's not so bad.
Well, another D10 though.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so it's still 2 with 1 left over. So you can spend the 2 raises to circumnavigate the pressure. However, you will still need to... basically, the way that this works is you can alleviate 1 of his 6 pressure raises, right? And then when you try and kill him, you will have to spend 2 raises per action that you want to do in order to get around that as well. So it's definitely going to be harder than you think to kill this man. But Rapier, how do you plan on doing this?
Oh, Rapier's gonna keep going on his. Listen, I'm just here to do a job, okay? I don't know how I got here. It seems like you know more about this witch character than I do. Stand aside, big man, and let me finish this. We can sit down and talk about it afterwards. You say you're not a cold-blooded murderer, but I'm pretty sure you just ganged up with me to kill Ratbeard, so, you know, just calm down. It's all right. You've got the after-fight jitters. Think about things for a little while.
He's right, Stone. We've already encountered this guy, and he ran away and has already become a problem again within less than a day. He's gonna come
that's
back.
because he was loyal to Ratbeard, and Ratbeard's now dead, so he's got no
I asked
loyalties
him
to-
if he would like to fight honorably, and he literally went on a rampage about how he was going to fight to the death. Isn't that right, Potato Man?
Just Potato Man. What? Oh, samosa. Okay. He's just moaning in between like wolf growls, basically.
He's literally being eaten by wolves. I mean, there's no stopping this. Just let it happen.
No, why, we'd just be as bad as Ratbeard then.
Again, no one is ever going to be as bad as Ratbeard. And you can't
In
call
my
him
eyes-
Ratbeard anymore. He doesn't have a beard.
All right, Ratface.
No one will be as bad as Ratface because he's dead.
Do you mind if I say something here, lads?
Who are you?
This is Ricardo.
That's Ricardo.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to have another man's death on my hands as much as anyone else in this room, but what will we do with him? If you let him go, he will simply just be on this island. It's not like he can leave.
Exactly, he can just live his life out here.
But
That's really cruel.
Don't
You know
we
that,
want
right?
this island for ourselves? He's going to be a problem going forward.
It's one man against what? Everyone on this island? That's not going to work, is it?
Well, I like to think of myself as a skilled individual, and I'm sure this man thinks of him the same way. I'm sure he can be a thorn as much as anyone else in this room.
Well, we can just tie him up, hog tie him, and just,
And what, lad? Keep him prisoner forever? And then,
It's not merciful.
Susie will basically chime up and is like, I wouldn't mind seeing the man tied up forever. I think that's a nice way for him to run use the rest of his life.
Aren't you on the bad guy's side?
No, I'm on
I'm
your
pretty sure
side.
you were working for Ratbeard until when I arrived. So
Look, pirates have a habit of
She was.
changing sides. Don't worry about it. It will make sense.
no, it's very worrisome to me. I feel like you might just change sides again.
No, why would I do that?
Why did you do it in the first place?
Because my captain died and I don't
Didn't
want
you
to
literally
die.
just say that pirates change sides all the time?
Yes.
Not being sarcastic here is very, very difficult.
She still looks at you, like raises an eyebrow and is like, then go ahead. I don't mind if you're being sarcastic.
Unlike some people, I actually follow my O's.
Susie, you be with us now, right?
Hi. And I suppose you've gone from chef to captain?
who will be the captain will be decided amongst.
Well, I mean, you're wearing that stupid hat that captains wear.
It's a wonderful hat, lass. Don't be mocking the hat.
Wasn't the
Anyway,
captain's
I've
hat, was
dropped
it?
the wall. Go to the barracks and tell those 17 men that they be serving us now.
She like hops off the barrel and is like, "Aye, aye, captain," and she'll like saunter up the stairs, basically.
Lads, the 5 unnamed brutes that we brought with us.
Yeah, what's up, captain?
Go with her, lads.
Aye, aye, and then they'll follow.
Captain, what's your name?
Erik, son of Erik.
Right.
Grandson of Erik.
Yeah, I don't care.
Grandson.
Listen, Captain Erik, how do you feel about this person dying thing? I really feel like someone needs to break this deadlock. I don't want to have to hurt the big man.
Same choice
but
the rest of them had. He can join, or he can die.
he made that choice several combat rounds ago when he said that he really, really wanted to
I
die.
think the problem here, captain, and he'll like do a little like sort of jig, and tap his wooden leg on the floor when he does it. He's like, is that our friend here, Stone, has a problem with ending the man's life.
Stone, what's this man done to deserve your mercy? He mutinied. He killed fellow crew members. He's attacked us twice.
3 times, actually.
3 times.
Remember that one when poor Ricardo here was bent over a bow? You don't need to remind me of that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. 3 times, Stone.
I remember that. That was...
Men risk their lives to get us to this point.
And I'm okay with other people doing this dirty work for me, because this man, he decided that all Parisians would instantly be the cause of the murder on the ship. I am not fond of something like that.
Well, I thought that was Ratface, and he's dead. Look, he's dead there. Look, dead. I'll poke him.
So he appears to be. And the only holdout, the vigil, this man is holding a candle for him.
I just don't think we should just kill him for no apparent reason. Maybe we could.
Stone, my friend. It is not for no apparent reason that we're killing this man.
You know what we actually do? Sorry to interrupt you there, Captain. What about we make him walk the plank?
You want some sort of trial?
Yeah.
Still?
No.
Pirate
Not
justice.
Trial, as we just make him walk into the ocean and see what happens.
You know, it would be the best part if you just let me stab him to death, like I'm contractually obligated to do.
Aye, but you're not setting an example for all the men.
I don't know who you people are, and
Bjorn,
Me name is
Probably
Bubbles.
so kind as to tell this gentleman to calm it down just a wee bit.
I mean, he told me to uncalm it down just a few
He's-
seconds ago.
He's good.
Yeah, he said I'm good. See, I should definitely kill this guy. Look, does it really matter? You just said you want to throw him in the ocean. Does it matter whether he drowns to death or I stab him to
All right,
death?
Stone. Stone's just gonna step aside, and I'm just gonna walk out.
I'm going to pat Stone on the back as he goes out with my left hand, and then I'm going to stab this guy to death with
I will
my
be
right
like, "Don't touch me."
hand. Sorry. I thought we were having a moment.
Glad
Stone
to
is
see me as
going
a
full on 13-year-old girl.
I'm gonna run to the ocean and cry.
Second time on the island. It's
Is that
happening.
like every episode? That's like your thing.
Throw stones into the ocean. I can't get it.
This time he's going to find a perfect supply of smooth rocks and a nice natural bench.
No one understands me. All right, so you.
I want to
grab
keep stabbing this guy in the stomach and then slowly lower him to the ground and be like, shh, shh. Be quiet now, my son. Don't worry. There's nothing after this. Your pain will end.
So Ricardo is gonna watch you do this, and he's like, "You know, I noticed that you come from the same school that I do. Do they
The
teach
Torah
you?
school.
Yes. Do they teach you to be ruthless like this in the where you're from?
I'm from everywhere, man. I'm from everywhere.
Are you saying that you have multiple mothers on different continents?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Would you say you have strumpets in different ports?
Yes.
Your father must have impregnated a lot of women then. My hat goes off to the man.
Does he actually take his hat off?
He doesn't wear a hat.
Oh.
So the thing about Ricardo, he uses proverbs like stupidly and incorrectly. That's kind of a quirk of his, but yeah.
You're not wearing a hat.
It's like, oh, I apologize. I take my belt
Cloak.
off to you.
No, please don't take your belt off.
I have no other article of clothing that I can remove.
I understand that you wish to respect my father.
You could remove your pants.
No, please leave your pants
Yeah,
on.
that I could.
No.
So Susie's gonna come walking back in. It's like, oh, you killed him.
Didn't you say you wanted him to die several times?
I wanted him to be chained up in a prison so that I could taunt him for the rest of his life.
Oh, you did say that. Hey, Bjorn, do you need this woman killed as well? I'm pretty sure she was your enemy until a couple minutes ago.
I think she's joined our side. I think we're good.
Okay, that's nice. So my contract with you is done?
That was a contract?
Yeah, the sword for the fight. Anyway, listen, where are we, fellas?
We're
on our island.
Well, I magically appeared out of a barrel, so you're going to need to fill me in geographically, timeline-wise. This could be the future for all I know, or the past. But it's probably the same time.
Listen, I know the magic is interesting and all, but time travel, that's just crazy talk.
Magic isn't interesting. No, not really.
So-
What's with the rocks, by the way? Are you a wizard?
Not a wizard.
Did
You
you
wanna hop
become
out
a
of
wizard
there?
when you
Magic
killed
Island.
the wizard and stole his power?
Magic Island.
that we own now.
So
That's
you're a
ours now.
wizard.
No. Just a man.
Oh,
Can you
at
give me
that-
the geographic location of this island?
At that point, the wolves sort of just like disappear into just like blue dust essentially and blow away.
That was weird.
That, I've never seen that
Also, the sword that you're holding, rapier, also disappears into blue dust. As
I
well
feel
as
like I was really cheated here.
as well as like you feel like you're the barrel like the
I didn't make that cutlass.
no
That was
exactly
Oh, really?
and some of the shot like the guns on your chest feel lighter, like they just get lighter, and blue dust like flies out of that. Samuel, your armor. Oh wait, no, you got your armor somewhere else.
I had the armor.
Yeah. Yeah. But that all disappears. Yeah.
Bjorn, you owe me one cutlass. Services rendered.
Yeah. I'll get you that cutlass. I thought that was a real cutlass.
It felt pretty real. Right up until just now.
You still have your cutlass on your
Does
belt, by the way.
Does Bubbles fall over because his leg goes?
No, his leg is fine. His leg was real.
I thought that was made. Does his arm disappear then?
No.
Nothing bad happens to Bubbles. Stop asking about bad things happening.
No, I
to
just want him
Bubbles.
to go. I just want him to go. And fall over. 'Cause I thought it'd be fun.
Look, I have a bunch of backstory questions about the past and current present conditions that you could answer to me off screen, perhaps. But where am I, and how can I get to some place where I can kill people for money?
Well, here's Rapier. It's since you seem very mercenary.
Yes.
Lovely to have you.
Point to my duelist emblem.
You still carry that thing?
Does not mean much to me. I'm afraid. I'm from Prius, and not many dueling academies there.
All you
Plus-
need to know about the academy is that one skilled in the art of dueling, like myself and Rapier is here, it is hard work. A lot of sweat, a lot of blood goes into something like this. You should be fearful of a man who openly shows his emblem like that.
Wonderful. Well, Rapier, we intend to build ourselves a ship, crew it with these individuals, sail the seas, and make ourselves a fat lot of booty.
I have several questions.
Answer, I'll try.
How did you get here if you don't have a ship?
Magic. Specifically, a blood ritual enacted by the other captain,
In an ancient
sacrificing
temple.
several of his old crew. And a very confusing chamber that moved around.
That sort of answers the question as to why I'm happy to swap sides.
I'm assuming that was Susie.
Yes. Sir.
Yeah, it sounded like Susie to me. Second question. Does this island see regular shipping?
Not yet.
Well, so you're my only way off the island. Great.
Yes, at the moment. But you don't have to serve. We're not going to press gang you into service. But
No, I didn't think you'd be capable of press ganging me. But I think perhaps we can work out a deal for transport.
if you'd like to join the crew, the standard equal arrangement of booty applies.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's forlornly looking out of the ocean. I assume you're down on the pier now or something like that. Yeah?
I have no further questions except to ask when I'm going to get my sword.
I suppose Bjorn, being an expert smith, would be able to make one for you.
Don't you think?
Very well. I actually have a
provided I
final
the
question.
materials.
Why did that man go running out of this room into the water crying?
Stone is a good man. He's
That emotional?
a complexly simple man.
I would actually describe him as being mentally challenged.
There
That
are
feels
those
rather
that would
insulting.
describe him as such.
Normally in Freljord, we do away with those sorts. So
Yes, the world is a cold, dark place.
it is. Yes, I would agree with that statement.
You are a very straight-laced man, Rapier.
There's not
Thank you.
there's not an ounce of humor in this one.
My humor used to be entirely sarcasm-based.
Used to be?
Yes, there was a witch. I have a
Ah.
tattoo on my ass.
Yes,
So
we're all familiar with the
So
witch.
yeah, basically all like Bubbles. Ricardo will show you the same horseshoe crab.
Why did
tattoo.
you all get such a terrible tattoo in places people could see?
They are not tattoos. We are cursed like you.
Why did you get curses in places people could see?
We didn't exactly choose the location, lad.
Oh, well, that was pretty nice of the witch to offer me that value.
That must be because, we had buttered her
I
up
hope
with
that
dough,
witch.
trying to throw her in the ocean.
I was just super nice to her and drank some water. That was pretty much my whole journey.
Drinking.
I don't think she
That
offered
must
us
be
drinks.
nice.
Yes, drinking is nice. All humans must do it to live.
Well,
So you say,
not
lad.
this one.
So you say. Well, let's begin the work of turning this into our island. And then build ourselves a ship.
Is there a name of this crew?
Not yet, lad.
Okay.
Right here.
Bjorn, you're good with names. What's the name of our crew? Putting Prylor on the spot.
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
The 6 and above.
I've decided Thrinians are good
Yes.
at naming things.
Why wouldn't you just call yourselves the sons of son of Erik?
The sons of
Ah,
Erik.
The
yes.
sons of
You're
Erik.
all my sons now.
Well,
That sounds like a freaking cult, man.
The sons of Erik.
The
Son
sons of Erik.
All praise the son of Erik.
That's actually brilliant. I like that.
I used to be an entertainer.
I can
I
tell.
took an arrow to the knee.
You're very jubilant.
If I took an arrow to the knee, I wouldn't be able to duel as well as I do. That's a ridiculous notion.
I mean, if you took it in the kneecap, surely, but if you took it to the side of the knee, if it only scraped your knee, it wouldn't really
I
affect.
have never been shot in the knee.
So, Captain, now that you are the captain, I assume by process of elimination, what is it that you want us to do?
Well, lead a report of how many men we have. I'll turn off this godforsaken winter on half the planet. Let's start building a goddamn ship.
All right, so 22 brutes in total. That's what you have. You have Booker, who was the man in the other tower who was controlling the wolves, Arthur, in case you're wondering. He also created... so let me just do high-level stuff here real quick. This is an island of magic. It has 3 pillars. Being inside of a pillar will increase your radius of power. So basically you can go maybe 20 feet off the shore of the island as a maximum. The longer you're in a pillar, the bigger the radius of power that you have. If you manage to get the 3 pillars inside of 1 radius of the pillar, you control the entire island. You can basically build anything you want on the island. Going outside that radius of power or off the shores of the island, whatever you built with that power no longer ceases to exist.
So what you're saying is we've got a stronghold.
You've got a stronghold that has essentially 1 fatal weakness in that there needs to be a man inside of the pillar, and the man will get tired like a normal man. He'll also need
So
to
we'll have to
swap
So we'd have
people.
to figure out like a shift
Essentially,
pattern
yes.
to get people in and out of the thingy.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yes, 100%.
All right. Well, someone who can do maths will have to do that.
Yep. So you've got what did I say? 22 brutes. Yeah. 22 brutes. You can build a boat here using the wood available. There is enough.
Resources,
the natural resources. Yep. There is stone here that you can use.
I have a question. Is there a mine?
No.
Or if I jumped in one of the was it the the
Pillars. Mm-hmm.
the pillars? You said I could feel.
So the natural
island.
resources of this island, basically, there is a hot fire that you can use to make things from the actual mountain itself. Like there's enough, I guess, like the bubbling lava. Basically, there is some magma.
Yeah.
Yep. There is sand for glass. There is wood, and there is farming regions as well.
But what I was gonna say was like I can't find I feel the island. I can't feel any like. If
there's lead and stuff, but there's no like
something.
massive pockets of things, right? You can't mine a thing to make stuff. You are going to have.
We're not going to have a metal-based economy.
No, you're going to have enough
I was
food.
just saying for just a little bit.
Like if you set up a farm, you're gonna have enough food to sustain yourselves, and using the powers of the pillars, you can actually make the soil more fertile, but you can't produce food because the moment you leave the island with food in your stomach is the moment it disappears, right? So same thing goes for like bandages and stitches and stuff like that. If you stitch up a wound using thread made from the pillars, the moment you leave the island is the moment that thread disappears from your stitches.
That
so
one's open, yeah.
Yeah. So just think of it like that, basically. But yeah, you can make a farmland and you can make it highly profitable. Or not profitable, but like, you can make it profit in
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient. You have enough water here to do that sort of stuff. Wood, you can make trees grow quickly, but you can't make them grow like instantly, right? So trees will grow back much faster than they would in real life. And you can fortify this place with basically things that come, like when you make stone come out of the ground, basically you just take the natural resources that is there and you extend them. So you'll be using stone to basically make your fortifications if you were to make it magically. So that's pretty much the basis for this island. If you want to secure things like metal or income or trade, these are things that you're going to have to do. Now, you also don't know where this island is in the world. That's also pointed out that you need to explore and find what's around you.
Put scouts out and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much where you are right now. So we can fast track the time that it takes for you guys to build a ship. You do have enough workers to make that happen. Is there anyone here who has any expertise in building ships at all, would you say?
I know quite a bit, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert.
Mm-hmm.
Considering, we build ships in Thurnia.
Sure.
Thurin.
I mean, it's literally your country's specialty.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, though, you can't remember how to do it. Like, you're like, oh, I know how to... Actually, I don't. That's weird.
That's weird. It's strange.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're being cursed.
I know.
Almost like something to do with Thrinian, or being Thrinian is just not your brain anymore.
Crazy.
Strange. I mean, I have scholarship, but I actually would have no idea how to build a ship. So
okay.
So I'm going to spend my time, getting reacquainted with the crew. Putting them to task, getting the schedule worked out for the pillars. I'll make a forge for... Actually, I'll probably just let him make his own forge since he knows what the hell he needs.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I want to point out with this thing as well in terms of timing. It takes about 5 hours to fully take over the island again when you stand in a pillar. And within that time, the defenses will naturally crumble. So the reason why the wolves and all that stuff disappeared was because he removed his influence. Basically, think of it as like you step out of the pillar, the circle gets smaller, and you step in the pillar, it gets slowly larger again, right? That's basically how it works. So things further out, like extreme walls and stuff like that, they will crumble a lot quicker, and they will naturally degrade like faster than they would in real life as well.
I mean, I think building our defenses ourselves out of what we can build so that they don't degrade, at least our core defenses, is going to be a thing that we'll do. And then with our rotation, we'll have the ability to build defenses should we get assaulted in support of our natural defenses.
What were you saying, James? Sorry, by the way, you were mentioning something just now.
I was going to say that we're going to have to ship things in then, aren't we? We're going to need to figure out a way of making some money.
You do have a bookkeeper here with you, like an accountant almost, booker, which he can be like, he can handle like that aspect. So there's no like micromanaging, but you guys will need to go out and secure trade routes and partnerships.
Maybe we should become pirates.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. So... But that's why I think we should just do high level what we want to do on the island, and then we can get to building a boat and going off and being piratey as opposed to trying to micromanage the island.
I have a counterpoint here.
Go ahead.
Instead of being pirates, have you heard of privateers?
Rapier. We tried that. It's what Captain Ratbeard originally signed the contract for. But to be privateers, we'd have to get permission from some crown somewhere.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of joining a crew of people who just go around attacking ships and stealing their stuff. It seems much better when you've, got a nice shiny document that says it's okay to do.
Well, Rapier, if we, when we build a ship and we find some port to settle in, if we can find somebody to give us a legitimate writ of privateering.
Have you considered legitimate work shipping? Moving goods from one location to another, maybe not robbing people.
So the thing that you are aware of in this day and age is that piracy is rampant. So you know, doing so would mean that you open yourself up to being attacked. So basically, being a what did you call it? The first thing?
Privateer.
Privateer. Yes, sorry. For some reason, I was thinking courtier. I was like, what? No, that makes no sense. Privateer is actually pretty lucrative business, and there is a lot of people that are willing to pay for that. However, it's a lot easier to get work in that instance if you are renowned, because a lot of pirates actually turn to being privateers, and a lot of ex-Navy men also do that as well. But just walking up and saying that you want to be one without any sort of
I'll tell you what, Rapier. I've got no real need to go be stealing the goods of honest folk, but raiders, pirates, and the like, they tend to accumulate goods anyway. I'd have no problem limiting our scope to them until we got our privateer's license, make a name for ourselves. Would that soothe your conscience?
Sure. I wouldn't say conscious. But yeah.
Soothe your honor, whatever it be.
Yeah, honor is close.
Right, so I've got an idea.
Yes, Stone.
I know it doesn't happen often, but I've got an idea.
Lay it on us, boy.
So we should try and find out that original island where we were.
The one with the blood right and such.
Yeah, because there's a ship on there, isn't there, with cannons and stuff that's beached.
That's true, lad. We have no idea how far it is, but...
We could try and get hold of that one, I reckon. If we get hold of that, then we'll have a ship with cannons and stuff, because we're going to not have any cannons.
So Booker will reinforce that idea by saying that he does actually know where that is in the world scale, but you guys don't know where you are in the scale of the world, right? So
once we figure out where we are, then we can go to where it is.
So that's definitely a possibility.
That's a good idea, Stone.
Yeah, I mean, we could just build a basic ship for now, and just to try and find out where we are. I'm going to look up in the sky and see if I can get my bearings with like the stars and shit.
Do you have any sort of experience in that whatsoever?
Sailing.
I guess. Yeah, sailing would cover that, I guess, for the most part. 3 points in sailing. Yeah. You would have an understanding that you're in the same hemisphere as where you are. Like the stars are similar, right? So, but the stars are similar on the Emerald Isles, and the stars are similar on Perezia as well. It's not like you're in if you were on the opposite side of the globe, which you don't know is a globe right now, it would be different.
Well,
but the stars are.
I'll try and find the North Star so I can go. Well, that's north, the equivalent of the North Star.
I mean, navigating isn't the problem. The problem is working out where exactly, in relation to other things, you are. That's the problem.
I mean, we're gonna have to get on a ship and go find something else, and then we'll have a point of origin. But yeah, so in my turns in the pillars, I'm going to make the land fertile, and I'm going to do all the farming stuff. As you know, I'm probably the only one of these.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's worth pointing out too. The pillar represents known knowledge. So, for example, you can make a wall, but an architect can build a fortification, right? Like you know what I mean? A man, like a gunner, for example, can create functional cannons and lay them out in places where they would be much more...
Yeah, but you said they don't last long.
Well, that's the thing.
They last as long as the person's in there.
Yeah, so as long as... So, for example, that's why the armor built by Prylor wasn't removed when he stepped out of the radius. I mean, eventually it did go away when the radius went down. So if you have another person step into it, it's not like the farm is going to go away, right?
So why did the cutlass that I gave Rapier?
That wasn't the cutlass that you gave him. That was a cutlass that Booker made for everyone.
Wait, so do I still have a cutlass?
No. Even if you left the island, it would disappear. So,
Does
Prylock can
but
make.
I had
Does
a
he have
cutlass
a
that
rapier?
was not made by anyone. It was from the island.
Yeah, if you wanted to give him that one, you can give him that one.
I'll give him that one.
That's the one I was gonna give.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the one
yeah.
I meant to give him. So
Sorry,
that's why I was
yeah.
confused.
Thank you,
sorry.
Stone. I know we started off on a bad foot. I appreciate getting this cutlass from you.
All right, kill him. No.
Yeah, right, kill him. So basically, the other thing that you can do to improve your island is to find people of note with their skills. So if you find an architect and bring him back, put him in the pillar, he can create for you a fantastic, castle or fortification or whatever
All right,
you want.
So, if someone has, say, I make a sword,
Mhm.
does it have to be me that's in the thing to keep that? It can be just anyone.
It can be anyone once it's there. But like, let's say you make a sword, and then that person you give it to, and then another person steps in the pillar, and then that person with the sword leaves the island. That sword will disappear, right? But if that sword remains on the island, as long as there's a person in the pillar and the theoretical magic of the mind, they don't, change sides or remove alliances or whatever. The stuff that was placed here will just be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Unless removed for whatever reason. So the idea of like bringing experts in to join your side, as long as they stay on your side or allied with you and, reasonably close to the island every once in a while, those things will stay.
All right. I would definitely make 2 rapiers then. If I jumped in one of the pillars.
Well, I mean, the moment you leave the island is the moment those rapiers disappear.
Oh yeah,
so.
I'm just saying for this island, so that rapier can have really badass weapons while he's on the island.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
Just like golden inlay, some jewels on the hilt, the cage that goes around the hand. The
I appreciate
very nice,
that. It's called a basket.
Yes, thank you. A basket, and even rapier right on the etched into the side of the blades.
Magic is pretty sweet.
People can see that it's his name, and hopefully they don't think that it's just
What is my name?
Exactly.
It's rapier.
Not just like
it's like just rapier on the rapier.
Why'd you name your rapier? We know it's a rapier. You don't have to put the name on.
That's pretty funny.
Are we name tagging everything?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
exactly. I make underwear, and on my underwear it says Bjorn Svensson.
So things get built. You get like a nice smithery that uses magma to heat it. You get a library courtesy of Booker for note keeping and all that sort of stuff. You get like much more refined barracks. You basically, the place gets developed. In terms of ship, though, we are going to need to make a roll of some descript. So,
I've got an idea for a ship.
Yo.
On how. So if I got sailing of 3, would I have enough knowledge on how to build a ship?
I wouldn't say build a ship, but you have enough knowledge of ship workings to make a functional ship. Like
So if I stepped into the pillar and made a ship, and then we used that ship as a blueprint to build another ship.
Oh. That's actually pretty interesting. So like your men would pull apart the ship.
And learn.
Well, he could build it step by step, so he could be like, "Here's what the hull needs to look like."
I honestly don't think Samuel Stone is capable of building a ship like Lego. I think he can create a ship from memory. That I believe, but I don't think he would be capable of like making a ship foundation, and then like a ship like parts and a helm and all that sort of stuff put together in a mast. Like he wouldn't be able to separate them. They would be one thing. I could see that happening, but I don't see him being able to create a ship from memory like you suggest. But he can basically make a ship and dry dock it, and then that can be used as a basis for the ship that does get built. That I understand. That is something that I think would be perfectly fine. And then when you're done, you can just remove it and have all that space back.
What's a ship?
What's a ship?
Apparently, I don't know what a ship is.
Well, I mean, you gave up your fucking home to do this, so yeah. So yeah. What do you guys want to do? Who wants to make that roll?
What, the ship thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it.
Okay. So that is going to be wits and I guess sailing. In this case, you can have an extra dice for it being the first time you used it, and you can have an extra dice for the fact that you stipulated how you're going to build it. So, and you get a re-roll as well. So you'll be rolling an extra d10. And this entire process of time, right, takes time. Like it takes time to build a ship. So everyone who has dramatic wounds, you can remove them. And if you want to say that you have a keepsake or a scar from that dramatic wound, you can do that.
Oh yeah, I got a scar from where Twatface hit me with his sword.
Yeah,
a little one, a really small scar.
Just a little baby one. Yep. So that's how that will work.
Does handy come in at all? I know it doesn't really work in this. It says spend a hero point to repair a broken item, rig a damaged gun, patch a leaky ship, or perform similar miracles, causing the object to function normally for the rest of the scene. And in the scene, if the object suffers any additional damage, the object becomes unusable.
Honestly, I think, realistically speaking, if you spend a hero point, I would say that you can make the ship functional, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the ship gets built, and then you're able to use handy to fix up the misgivings, because none of you are master shipbuilders. None of you are shipbuilders. So handy, in this case, you spend your one hero point that you have this session to effectively fix it. After
I'll
it's
spend
built.
the one hero point that I can't see.
Yep. I don't know why it's not there. That's weird. But yeah, go ahead and roll your roll for me, please. Remember, you're rolling extra d10 here as well. This will give us an idea of how, let's just say, proverbial health here. I'm not sure if the game actually has any sort of instances. I know they have sailing stuff in here, but I'm not sure if there's like a boat or your ship. Let's take a look here.
So your reroll is going to replace that one, just as a note, because you would have rolled the one at the same time as everything else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the one is replaced by the 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
So 10 is obviously 1 success. 9 plus 3 is 1 success.
So do you have an idea of what type of
4...
ship you would have built from memory?
Probably a schooner or something. Something small, because we don't have a massive crew.
Very small but fast ship. Because of the size, it can sail in more shallow waters than other ship and can run from a fight when needed. Okay, sure. Yeah.
So, am I adding up the successes?
Yeah, add up the successes, make risks.
Right, so 10, 9 plus 3, it's another 10, 9 plus 4. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes? Or 4 raises?
4 raises, okay.
And there's nothing left, neither.
Alright, so basically, this is kind of like an interesting thing because there's ship history here, right? So where would you say that your ship is from? What
Probably well, the most common ship I've probably been on is the
like a schooner from the Emerald
Emerald
Isles, for example?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Let's see here. What is the equivalent place? What was Arthur? You made your character from there. What was the place called in Theron? Theron. That was
Avalon, I believe it's called.
Avalon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it's called Avalon.
Ships made in the Emerald Isles tend to be smaller and built for speed. Gain 2 bonus dice for any risk involving speed and maneuverability, such as trying to flat out run another ship. If your ship is from the Emerald Isles, it is likely a brig, brigantine, or a schooner. So there you go. So make sure someone. I'll make another character sheet for the ship if you guys want. Because I think there is a ship page in here, right? Nope, I don't think so. But we can just ship backgrounds. Captured by pirates. No. There's no history here because it's the new ship. Let's see here. Hits. A ship can take 5 hits before it takes a critical hit. Your ship can take 4 critical hits before it becomes crippled. Okay, so I'll just make a handout here for the ship, I think. Many thanks to our Patreon supporters for this week's episode. Head on over to patreon.com/handling to support the growth of Die Party. We have a ship. You can name a ship whatever you want. It is a schooner. So there's a couple things that I need to mention about the mechanics of shipping and boating and being on the water and that sort of stuff. So you have built a schooner. A schooner is a ship that can run from fights and sail in the shallows. You have 2 bonus dice for speed and maneuverability actions on your ship if you want to do something like that. The ship has 20 health in total and 4 dramatic wounds that it can take before it sinks. You have a total... The ship can be crewed by 10 people, and you have to have 10 people to crew it. And you can split the crew up into 2 sections, right? So think of crews as chunks of brutes, essentially, right? So you can make one crew 7 and the other crew 3, but then one crew will roll 7 dice and one crew will roll 3 dice. So you can split that however you like, but to a total of 10. This crew, when you're out in the water, needs to be paid by the end of the session. Failure to not pay the crew is a 2 dice penalty on anything that they do in the future. So if a crew is 5, they'll roll 3 dice instead of 5, right? So that's essentially how that works. And the same thing goes for any ship-based maneuvers or whatever, right? So if you're trying to run away from a ship, because you have 2 bonus dice, if a crew is mutinous, you'll be rolling -1 dice, essentially, right? No, you'll just be rolling straight because you get 2 bonus dice, right? So having said that, you have a cargo hold of 2, right? And 1 space in the cargo is considered 1 wealth. In order to pay your crew, because each crew for each ship is different, right? In the case of a schooner, you will need to give up 1 wealth per session, or half the cargo size, in order to pay your crew for doing what you do. So having a bigger cargo hold means that you can make more wealth yourselves. So for example, if you go and collect 2 cargo worth of iron to bring back to the fort, if you don't make it back within that 1 session, you technically have to pay that crew half your iron in wealth, basically. And that's pretty much the systems. There are a bunch of things in here for raiding other ships, can restock your crew strength and all that sort of stuff in there. So basically you can find a bunch of interesting things in here to add to your ship's overall history. Like for example, like the Black Pearl has a lot of history, right, as a ship. There's a lot of rumors that go along about it. Same thing can happen to any ship in this game. You can, if it's involved in enough conflicts and goes away from those conflicts unscathed, or maybe is notorious, like maybe people see that ship and they go, oh shit, that's the whatever you end up calling the ship, you can end up getting a lot of bonuses for that, both negative and positive, depending on who you're attacking. So keep that in mind. Now, did you guys want to name this ship?
Stone, you built it. What should we name her?
What did we name it? What are the naming conventions? Could it be named anything?
Whatever you want, really. But keep in mind, naming the ship is just for your personal bookkeeping only. But for example, if other people see your ship, maybe they'll call it the Ghostly Hole if it has a lot of holes in it, or whatever. You know, depending on what the figurehead is, depending on what color it is. You know, other people will refer to your ship in different terms. But yeah. So what would you like to call it?
I have a suggestion. This ship was made by stone. And in order to make it, you had to use a bunch of magical stones floating around doing pillars and stuff that I don't understand. So I suggest you call it the Stone Hand. That's it.
I was
That's
gonna.
all
I was thinking. I was gonna call it the skipping stone. You know, like you skim a stone, or the skimming stone.
That's not a bad one either. Oh, I mean,
you know, I like. You can never find the perfect stone to skim. Look, I've just loved to throw a rock in there.
Sploosh.
so you'd like to call it the skipping stone?
Yeah, the skimming stone.
Skimming stone? Okay. Okay, cool. So it's a schooner. So, having said that, your first course of action, I guess, realistically, is to work out where you guys are, right?
Well, we don't have any money to pay our crew, so we'll wait till next week, and then we can do it next week, and then we can pay them next week.
I mean, I'm not going to,
You'll waive it for us this time?
Yeah,
Well,
basically
I mean,
for this session, right? Like, it makes sense that they're, the morale is high enough where they're just going to be like, "Aye, we're on the ocean again," like that sort of thing. So
We're not trapped on an island with a murderous captain who kills half of us.
right, yeah. So I'm gonna hand wave this one due to morale, but if you guys want to,
I'm gonna speak to the captain, whoever that captain is. Who's the captain?
I guess.
Why, you don't know shit about boats? You wouldn't know.
It's true. I don't know shit about.
We're going back, Captain. We're going backwards.
Well, no, it's less about the captain's role is less about actually running the ship.
I'm not sailing the ship.
Yeah. More like he just has the charisma to be, I guess, voted in, but like the NPCs have just sort of positioned him in the place of power. But if you want, actually, we can decide who's the captain now. You guys are PCs. You can sway people. You can do whatever you like.
I'm not bothered. I'll just wondering if that would be the way that they would select a captain that has no idea what starboard or port
I mean, I do have a point in sailing. I'm not completely inept on sailing, James.
All right. Okay. So you do know which way the boat goes in.
Yeah, I know which end of the boat is the end of the boat. I mean, I don't, but Erik does.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Port and starboard.
So, as far as it goes, do we want to take Booker and Susie with us?
I want to talk to Erik then.
Okay, we're talking.
Well, I think Captain is when we do get enough booty, like when we do get enough money, maybe we should pay for all those fucking weeks that none of the crew were paid for when they were under Captain No Beard.
It's a good point, Stone. They were promised a good amount of loot, an island of treasure. So let's make it our job to make all of us filthy, stinking rich.
And for the sake of morale or whatever on the island, there's enough proverbial booze, right? That these guys will be sustained and happy. And
yeah, I mean, I figure,
at least for the time being. Yeah.
With the farming we set up, they're self-sufficient on food. Like while we're waiting for the ship.
Are we growing sugar cane? Because that's where we can make rum from. You see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about growing sugarcane, but I do know about growing wheat.
It's
So
also
we could
worth pointing out that right now you have the 22 grunts. The island is big enough to sustain a lot of people. However, pointing that out, the brutes aren't the type to want to
stay on an island.
And farm, right? So you are going to have to find
Farmers,
workers to a degree.
Yeah. But yeah, but I'm assuming we set the weather of the island back to a comfortable temperate. We take care of their general needs through the magic-y things. So whoever does stay on the island isn't going to be suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you can mess with the weather, you could probably make sure that all year round the weather is optimal
for growing whatever you want.
Growing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and that's what I was saying is, I think we can pretty safely assume that who's ever on the island is self-sufficient and taken care of.
Yep.
To the point where we could probably even grow some supplies to take with us, because obviously anything we grow using magic, anything we create using magic can't go with us, but we could grow some quick growing supplies so that we could have potatoes and we could create dried meat.
Yep. So
like
basically anything,
rations to go on the boat with us.
Yeah. And what you could do theoretically right now is Ricardo is fine staying behind. Susie's fine staying behind. You can, if you wanted to, even use the other, because you have 22 brutes and a crew of 10 is required per ship. You could theoretically have 2 ships built, and you could have 2 schooners doing some work. However, then there'll be no one on the island, and you got manpower problems right now, but you can do something to convince them otherwise. So
yeah, I think 1 schooner to figure out where we are, take 10 people with us.
You're playing Age of Empires right now, basically.
Yes. So I'm gonna leave. Obviously, take the 4 of us. Probably bring Booker, because he's not of a huge use on the island right now, but he could be of use depending on where we land. Is Bubbles willing to stay or no?
He insists that he goes with you.
Okay, so Bubbles is going to come with us. That's okay. He's an old salty dog. He's probably going to be useful on the sea. Ricardo and Susie can stay on the island.
I think Ricardo would be our most trusted person to leave on the island.
Yeah, well, we're going to leave Ricardo on the island because we can trust him. And we're going to leave Susie on the island because, I mean, we can probably trust her.
Yeah, Susie's use would probably be as another captain of another ship, right? Like, like that's basically what her ultimate use might potentially be. Running another schooner to do other busy work, that sort of stuff, basically.
So we'll leave Ricardo in charge of the island with Susie backing him up, with a schedule for the pillars and everything like that. The 4 of us can get on the schooner, and I really like Stone's idea of trying to figure out where we are. Once we figure out where we are, try to head towards the island where Ratbeard's ship got grounded, because it hasn't been a horribly long time. It's been a couple of months, but the ship should still be there. Plus, there were still some people on that island that were looking for a way off the island, who were at one point sailors. So we could maybe convince. You okay, bud?
Yes.
Those guys that are tied to the tree, they're probably dead now.
Those guys are definitely dead, Stone.
You get a shrug from Ricardo. I didn't kill them. If they did not get free, it is of their own salt.
Anyway, so let's figure out where we are, lads. Then once we know where we are, we'll go reclaim that other ship, get it seaworthy again. If we can't get her seaworthy, strip her of her cannons, see if there's any men or ships to
The problem is though, the schooner probably won't be able to carry the load of the cannons.
Nope.
We've got a cargo hold, lad. We'll be able to.
Yeah, but the weight of the cannons may not be enough.
That's
may not
not
be sufficient.
That's not really a thing you have to worry about. It's just like cargo is limited to wealth, and salvaging a ship of cannons is like a wealth, I guess, right? So.
Well, I would assume that we built the schooner with cannon slots, so we could probably just put the cannons that the schooner can use, which is probably only a few.
But you can't think of it as like wealth until repaired, right? Like
yeah. No, I mean I get it. What I'm saying is like there's no way a ship is not going to be able to carry some cannons.
Yeah.
Like we weren't sailing on a man of war, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So let's find out where we are in this great big ocean, make our way to the ship, arm ourselves, and then start looking for ways of making us all wealthy men and women. Woman.
Okay, sure. So, you guys head out. Now, is there any rhyme or reason to how you guys navigate in the ocean? Do you follow a particular star? Do you go in a direction? Do you try and keep a course? Do you go where the wind blows you? What do you do?
I mean, I would probably leave that to more experienced sailors. Stone, Bubbles.
How would they do it? How would they actually do it in real life if they're trying to figure out? Because I'm not a sailor.
Knows. I don't know. I don't pretend to know.
You would pick a heading and a direction.
Yeah, what's that, Arthur?
Going north or south doesn't matter so much, and going west is in the wrong direction. If you go east, the only place you can do is hit the continent, and from there you can figure out where you are.
Oh, you don't. Yeah.
So you recommend going east?
Yep. I mean, if you're too far south and you go south, you sail off the map. If you're too far north, you go north, you sail off the map. But you can't sail too far east. There's always going to be land.
Sounds good to me, Rapier.
Excellent.
Make sense, Bubbles, Stone.
Aye. The lad knows his tales.
Set course to due east.
Yep. Course of
Engage.
bells go off. Sails are unfurled, and we get that cutscene that happens every single time you leave port in an Assassin's Creed game. So.
The random eagle for no good reason.
Yep. So
Get shut down for food.
yeah, you guys go on an adventure, right? It's probably a good. I see. That's the thing, right? We made this world, but we didn't really decide the length of time that it takes to get from a place to place. However, we have the ability to make a roll. So, I guess James, this is your proverbial place of power. So why don't we get a roll from you to see how long it takes you to go from one place to another. So you don't get your bonus die for this. You do get 2 bonus die for it being a schooner, though. And the men aren't, mutinous right now. So let's take a look.
Right.
So you just be rolling 1 additional dice, one d10 after this because you got the bonus die on. So this would be this would be wits sailing. So go ahead and roll for me, please. All right, and roll another 1d10. Okay, so that's garbage rolls all around. So it looks like you get 3 dice out of that. 2 and 8, and then so 8, 9, 10. And then you're left with a 9, I guess.
Well, 9 plus 1 is a 10.
Yeah, and 2 plus 8 is a 10, and then you got 8 and 1 is a 9. So
yes, so there's 3 dice spare.
yeah, or you can do it the other way and
spend a hero point to give him 3 extra dice.
or you need to do that before you make a roll, just so you know in the future.
Okay.
I
mean, we're not under any threat here or anything, so...
I know, but I just want to let you know
yes,
that is...
I apologize. I definitely should have done that beforehand.
Sure. So go ahead and just click +3 at the top there for me, Samuel.
And if these are bad, I'm going to use my hero point.
Okay, so that puts you at 4 and 5. So you got 5 total. So with 5, you know, you spend... All right, so I'm going to give you some opportunities here that you can spend these on, because this is a single risk, yeah. So the opportunity is I will give you for 3 raises, you spot a sunken ship or a shipwreck.
Like a ship on the shoals.
Mm-hmm.
Is this creating an opportunity, or is this an opportunity?
This is an opportunity that
telling
you
you
can
it exists.
Yeah.
So you can spend 3 raises to take advantage of that opportunity.
Or you can leave it. It's up to you.
I'll spend the 3 raises to take that opportunity.
Okay. So basically, you know, instead of continuing to go by and letting it slide by the wayside, you guys investigate a shipwreck. So
is it a ship with, like, it looks like there was fires inside and the ship has been sailing by itself for some time?
No,
like,
it's
just smoke coming out of every orifice.
It's submerged but floating. Like half the fuselage is still above water. Like the front of it is, and it seems like the mast is missing, and it seems like maybe half of it is not in the. Maybe half of it's missing. Like if you go up and investigate, the bottom half of the ship is missing from the ship itself, but the top half of it is still afloat.
All right, I guess we'll search the wreck and see what if there's any salvage.
Okay. So this will be a single risk. Now you can use the crew to do this as well. Like if you wanted to send maybe 7 of the crew over to do it, they would roll 7 dice, and you guys could collectively spend the risks that way. Or you could send one of you over to do it as well.
Well, I'll go over.
By yourself?
I'll take some of the crew.
Okay.
To have a look, unless anyone else wants to come with and have a look.
I think Rapier will definitely come, and probably as they're going over there, he'll be like, "Is anyone alive over there? Hello?"
I mean, you just hear the grind, like the creaking of wood against wood, basically, as it bobs up and down in the ocean.
Okay, this is a legitimate salvage operation then.
Yep.
Do we need permits for this sort of thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically what's going to happen here is there is a risk of because this will probably, with tampering, which you will need to do to get in, there is a risk that the what's keeping it afloat is like an air bubble inside of it. That'll go away and the ship will sink with whoever's inside of it, right? So basically just think of it as time that you need to spend you need to be out before the risk of before the raises get to 2, right? So what is your approach for getting in here?
Oh shit. Fuck.
This is a dramatic sequence, basically. So.
Well, Rapier's pretty good at hiding, so I want to ask if there's a way to reverse that, and look for like hidden hull compartments for smuggled goods.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, you can use. That'd probably be.
I mean, wouldn't that be notice? Though?
That is more of a notice, but
Hmm.
I can let you use, say, finesse, if that's how you... Is that how
Sure.
you normally do it? Like, finesse notice, for example, is the sort of thing where, like, you know, you being agile, for example, you can also know where people smuggle stuff as well. But being, you know, agile about it means that there has a less risk of you falling into prey of this thing falling down.
Or
Do
what if
you
you're good at
have
theft?
athletics, Stone?
No, I've got 1 in it, so I'm not very good at it. I was actually going to go over, just be very observant of what's going on.
Okay, well, I mean, you have to be in the water with this thing. You know, like, that's the thing. Like, if you want to be a part of the salvage operation, you need to be in the water. So it would need to be...
Well, I'd be careful to make sure I don't burst a bubble.
It's not a bubble. It's essentially, it's been held up by an air pocket.
You guys are basically trying to salvage as much as you can before the ship goes under. Like, we can tell that the ship is barely hanging on. We got here just in time. So it's essentially a smash and grab. We're going to grab everything we can get off of this ship before it goes underwater.
Mhm.
So it's not about being sneaky. It's about grabbing what we can and trying to judge how long that is. In this particular case, we know that is at the end of the second raise. Anybody who's not off of that ship is going to have that consequence.
Whenever it get down to 2 raises, the ship will sink.
Well, we get our full actions until it happens at the end of the second raise phase.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yep.
So I just need to know your approach, James.
Yep.
Carefully.
All right. So maybe definitely not brawn then. Probably resolve, and I would say I would allow you to use sailing here if you wanted to for understanding the ship's layout.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Resolve and which? Resolve and sailing.
resolve and sailing. Yes. So go
Is
ahead.
that a new roll or is that?
No,
or is
you've
that
used sailing
not?
before, so.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll that for me, please.
And how many men did you take with you? Because they'll all get a dice as well, correct?
3, they said. So they'll get 3 as well.
So I've got that thing
Should
where
I just plus 3 then? Is that
No,
what you
no.
want to do?
I'll roll the
Oh, okay.
crew. So
I've got that thing where my finesse gets an automatic 10 for being legendary. How do you want me to handle that here?
what are you rolling? You're rolling notice and finesse, right?
Yep.
So add the bonus die for it being used for the first time, and then just roll an additional d10 after. So. Oh wait, no, you just get a 10. Right?
He just gets an
Yeah,
automatic
just get a
success.
10.
What we've done in the past is the lowest number has just become a 10.
Yeah.
Well,
basically.
then I have a 38, which is 3s.
Yep. So you get 3.
I haven't had that. What I've got, hang on. 9 plus 3 is 10. That's 1 success. 5 plus 7 is that's 2 successes. 3. I've got 3 raises as well, I believe. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 raises.
Okay, so 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 for both of you. So, and I will roll for the people for the crew. 15, so they get 1 raise. So you are going to, unless you help these men who are coming with you, you are going to lose 3 men. They're going to go down on the ship, basically.
So I'm going to spend 3 raises to save them.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless you,
I'll spend my 3 raises to save them, and then Rapier can concentrate on fucking trying to find stuff.
Yeah, so it's basically like they go in there and they're not sure what they're looking for, and they get stuck in basically they're swimming up a ship that they're used to walking.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're
flat.
probably like cats. They just get in trouble. You have to go get them off
yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, you know, adding more men in there, for example, would have mean that you could have rolled more dice, and this is what the strength of the crew is mostly used for. So, all right, so AP, you basically have one raise before the consequence of it sinking happens. Now,
Yes.
sinking doesn't mean instant death, right? So you could say spend 2 raises searching around and 1 getting back to the surface after it sinks, right? But that's up to you, however you
Well,
want.
what are my options here?
Whatever you'd like. 1 raise is 1 action. I'm going to put in opportunity here for you to spend your raises on. Let's say that there is we'll do a couple of opportunities. That way you can pick between them. So there is a ledger in here, water bound ledger, basically. Whatever's in there could be interesting. So 1 raise for the ledger. There's 2 in here. There's a strong box. It's going to be really heavy to get out, and it's closed, right? So you're not sure what's in the actual strong box either. But that's going to take you 2 raises to bring to the surface. And the last one, for 1, there is a figurehead on the actual ship itself, like at the top of the thing that you could take off and bring with you. It might have some significance to someone somewhere, or you might be able to use it on your ship. And doing so will... So the way that this works is if a ship goes down, if you have a memento of that ship, you can keep its history. So when you work out what the history of this figurehead might be, it could potentially add something to the ship. And that'll be 2 raises as well to get the figurehead.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd love to get this lockbox, but I'm guessing that if I spend 2 raises on that, and then I have to spend another one swimming away while carrying the lockbox is not going to be easy. Same deal.
Or no, a raise would just be spent to do it, right? That's essentially how it works.
You absolutely can spend the 2 to get the lockbox, and then 1 to get safely back to the ship.
Oh, well then I want to do that.
Yep. Okay.
I'm gonna dash in and just be like, look at this. It's a secret box. Let's go, Stone.
Well, it's underwater right now, so you'd probably be
Look at
like...
this, Stone. It's a secret box.
What I'm saying is I'm trying to save these losers that can't fucking swim.
Well, I mean, and I would say, Stone, you probably don't need to spend all 3 raises to save those guys.
Actually, it's impossible for you to spend all 3 raises to save them, because here's what
you
happens.
Just spend 1 raise, probably to tell them to get back on the ship.
Well, no, all 3 men are in the ship, right? They all dive in with you guys. It's when you're inside the ship that you notice that it starts to sink, right? That's where this comes from. So you spend 1 raise to save 1 person, right? And then you swim back down and you spend the other raise to get another person. So you can save 2 people out of the 3.
Henley, are you telling me that on a 3 raise opportunity we have to lose somebody?
No, because they can spend their 1 raise to grab a ledger, or you can spend that 1 raise that they have combined to save that last person.
Okay, so can we just say that all 3 of them use their 1 raise to swim up to the surface, having found nothing, and let James use his 3 raises on other things? If we're agreeing that 1 raise means that they can swim up, because it's sunk on 2, so they swim back up.
Well, 1 raise is for 1 person. There's 3 of them in there, so.
Oh, okay.
So one person like.
2...
Yeah.
So I could spend 2 raises to get the other 2 out, and then spend the other raise to grab the ledger.
Yeah, but then you'd be under the water, and you wouldn't be able to swim up in time
because you only have 3.
Yeah. So the boat sinks at 2. So you have 1 opportunity right now to do something before the boat sinks, right? So you could grab the ledger, and then, so if you spend your first raise to grab the ledger, right? Let's say you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And AP spends his first 2 raises to grab the strongbox. It's then the ship starts to sink. So at that point, the men around you, they have 1 raise, right? So 1 of them swims up, fine. So there's 2 men left in here. So you can spend your 2 last raises to get 1 of them out, and then you can attempt to swim back down, but you don't have enough raises to pull that last man out, essentially. So you can do that, get the ledger, lose 1 man in the process, which is fine. Like, morale of these dudes isn't going to be like huge. Like, that's the thing. Like, morale's not really a thing in this game, essentially.
Yeah, but James is loyal. He's not going to leave. Or
I don't leave no one behind.
So Stone would use all 3 raises to save.
That's the kind of opportunities and consequences here, right? So you can choose either one, and you'll be fine. So in the future, basically, like crew is like an actual like strength, and using your raises, you can save some of the strength of the crew, or you can get the ledger, basically.
I'll just save the crew then. Fuck the ledger.
Okay, so the result is you guys are in the ship. Strong box is grabbed. The ship starts to go down. Like, you see a ledger, but then you also see your men like panicking underwater. So Stone like grabs 2 of them, and the last one follows, I guess, and you bring them up to the surface. And the last person to come up, I guess, is Rapier with his strongbox, right?
Blah 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 blah.
Yep. So you all come back on the deck. The men are just coughing up and splutters as you watch the last of the vestment of the ship just sinking. But you have the strongbox. It's locked. It's gilded. But yeah, that's what's in here.
Hey guys, I found a box.
I found some crew.
Are you missing one?
Lads. Bjorn, think you can get this box open?
No, all 3 are there, James. AP.
Oh, okay. All right.
want
It's gonna be
one?
like you missed one.
2,
Should be able to.
3. No, there's 3. There's 3. There wasn't a 4.
Excellent. I think I got confused by all the GM talk.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, but if you take it in order, it starts to break down and like make a lot more sense.
Don't worry, we have this really sweet box.
All right,
There's
Bjorn,
probably good stuff in it, and if not, we can just sell the box.
let's get the box open, hopefully without breaking the box.
So if
You
you want,
sure?
you can spend one. Yeah, you can either take it to a lock pick. Like I guess Ricardo would be capable of opening the lock very easily, because he can spend hero points doing that. But he's an NPC now, so whatever. Or you can take it to an NPC on the mainland and open it there, or you can go
We
back.
don't know where the mainland is.
Exactly right. Like, so you can spend. So here's the thing: like, you can easily make it back to where you came from with the last 2 sailing points that you have. So the way that we're gonna do distance in the form of basically, because distance is irrelevant, right, for a lot of cases. But let's say that you're on an island, and it's definitely going to take more than 3 to get to a mainland. That's what you know right now in the easterly directions, right? So that's what you know. So if you spent all 5, you could probably get to the mainland in the easterly direction. But if you spent, like, that's essentially where you're at. So you can make it back with the 2.
Captain, I think we should go back. It's getting pretty late.
Or you can go forward and spend the night out.
Also,
at sea.
maybe there might be a map inside this strong box.
Also, we're running out of food as well, Captain. So it might be worth heading back anyway.
That is a problem. Yes.
We actually brought plenty of provisions, but that's fine. All right, lads, I'm curious about what's in the box.
What's in the box?
If you'd be telling me we can't be making it to mainland with the supplies.
Well, you don't know, right? At
I
least
have no idea where mainland is.
Yeah. So right now you know that 3
You can
units
find a
worth
very
of
large
sailing.
island and just call it Greenland, but
So right now, all you know is in the easterly direction, 3 units of speed is not enough to get you to the mainland, right? That's what you know.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming Stone and the other pirates who have been on the sea for a very long time would say, based on, we don't see any, seabirds that go towards land, so we're not very close to land, so we yada yada yakety schmackety. They'd be able to at least have some indication that they may not know exactly how far land is, but they know it's not close.
It's bad luck to see an albatross and not actually go to land.
Well, we haven't seen an albatross.
Bad luck. It's bad luck. I say bad luck.
Right, Mr.
If you
Stone. Please
Have
turn
you
us
mem-
around. We'll go
Have
see
you-
what's in this lockbox.
By the way, just so you know, Stone's very superstitious, but he gets all the superstitions
Completely wrong.
Yeah. All right. So
You
if
know,
you get,
albatrosses are good luck. They're only bad luck when you kill them.
According to Stone, they're bad luck if you don't follow it to land.
So we turn the ship around and go back to town.
okay.
Or-
Yeah. So what did you call this isle, by the way?
We had
We haven't named it.
Blood Sacrifice Island. Ratbeard's Nest.
Ratbeard's Nest. Okay. Yeah, so you make it back. Ricardo does his magic. Poof, it opens. I'm going to say there's 1 unit of treasure in here. So 1 cargo worth of... so it's actually called in this game... what's it called?
Wealth.
No,
Doubloons?
it's treasury, I think it is what they consider. Yeah, so when the crew earns wealth, they bank it in the ship's treasury. The captain typically decides how to divide it up. Wise captain makes sure his crew gets paid or risks mutiny at the end of each game session. The wealth contained in the ship's treasury is halved, rounded down. This represents the cost of upkeep and repairs, provisions, and payment for the non-hero crew. If the captain doesn't pay his crew at the end of the game session, either because he does not halve it, or either because he chooses not to, or not to halve his ship's treasury, or the treasury is empty, the crew becomes mutinous. Blah 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 blah. But because this session is good, then you're fine without paying them. One of the things you can do is you can get bonus dice to making sure that your crew isn't mutinous by having like adventures on this boat and that sort of stuff. So being on a like well-regarded boat, for example, the crew will expect to get paid when they get paid rather than every time they finish a sailing thing they get paid, you know, that sort of thing.
They know the payment's forthcoming even if it's not happening right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there are ways to mitigate that. But yeah, you have 1 wealth right now, and this wealth, if you wanted to, can be used in both the stories for AP and for Erik, I guess, to get their wealth.
Excellent.
So just mark that down as 1 story done, 1 arc of the story. I think both of you need to get 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Well, I mean, my first arc was actually just get off the island.
Oh yeah, what was the wealth of that?
So the wealth is actually toward the end of my arc. It's to replace the wealth that got taken from my village by raiders.
Right. Okay. And how much is that? You know, I just whatever 3 wealth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that means. So this place has become like your treasury on the island. Ratbeard's Nest has gotten larger. So essentially, you can use this for like trade or what have you. So I think that's where we'll end the session, though. That was a pretty good session. You guys got a ship and you cleared the island and we set some ground rules for what's going to happen in the future. And now you guys have a sandbox to explore. I think what I might do is I might make a new page and I'll put like the ship, the layout of the island. And we can just sort of expand as you guys explore in different directions. The way that we'll go ahead and do things going forward, I think, is 1 square on this map, whatever that might be, is 1 unit of basically sailing time. So sailing time is how many raises it takes to get through one thing, right? So a schooner has more chances of going further because they have more dice to roll, but that's, you know, accounting for sailing strength and wind and all that sort of shit. I think that's a pretty decent way of handling it, because this game has, you know, a map and already stuff laid out, but not our game. Our game is sort of sandboxy and exploratory, so that's where we'll do that. So who did their stories today? So we know 2 of them, Arthur and Eugene, both did their stories. What was James your story?
Well, my story is to get that ship, isn't it? That was the idea anyway. I haven't written it down yet because I just came up with it today.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I guess your first story is to make landfall somewhere and work out where you are?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what are you actually working towards, though? What does the story unlock? Do you want to go to another level of sailing, maybe?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we'll go for another level of sailing.
Okay, so this is going to be a four-part story then, yeah? Okay, so make sure you write that down. And once you've made landfall, that'll be the first part of your story done, yeah? To work out where you are.
Well, I wouldn't say just landfall.
I mean, I would argue that building the boat would be the first part of that story.
Sure,
Like,
I'll accept
building a
that.
functioning boat.
I'll accept that. So you can have one of the 4 things done. The next
And then
one, next one will be finding out where the island is by finding a land that you recognize.
Then the third part can be getting back to the boat.
It wouldn't just necessarily be landfall, though, is it? If we encounter another boat, another ship,
Yeah, I mean,
we might be able to talk to
figuring
them.
out where we are in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Prylor, what was your story?
I didn't get anything done, I don't think.
But what is your
It's,
story?
Acquiring smithing knowledge.
So what is it working towards?
Specialist.
How many story arcs? 4? Okay.
Got one.
You got one last time because you worked out some stuff here. I would say that you got one because you got a smith. You got a magma smithery. So
Yeah, we set up
I
a
guess,
dream forge for you.
I guess that's true with the magma. I didn't think about that part yet.
Yeah, so now all you have to do is find the ores because you've studied weapons.
Mhm.
Now you have a place to work.
Yeah.
Now you need to find the ores to make your dream weapons, and then the fourth part of your adventure will be making your mastercraft weapon.
And I have to make our new character some rapiers that he can take anywhere.
Well, the mastercraft weapon is in itself a thing, so that wouldn't be a part of this. But yeah.
I have mastercraft.
Yeah.
As well.
So yeah, that's pretty good session all up. Everyone worked on their stories, so that's good. Arthur, do you have any, like, this is your first session, so what do you think of it?
I think that I'm going to have to figure out what my place on this crew is beyond brutal, ruthless murderer.
I mean, you could be like, what do they call the person in charge of, like, boarding and stuff, and or
Probably like sergeant.
like a gunnery sergeant or something like that. Like you could basically have your own crew of people that follow you into battle and stuff. Like,
I kind of meant more philosophically than literally.
oh, okay.
My place
Yeah.
in the-
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my place in the crew is, in fact, brutal murdery. Given that I'm
He's going to be the head of our Marines.
Yeah. Well, that's actually kind of interesting too, because like, maybe as part of, like, at least for me, part of the idea of being in a school, like a dueling school, a part of that is going out and experiencing the combats and stuff like that. So maybe that could just be.
I mean, I'm a former assassin. I'm pretty sure I've killed a lot of people by now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and
You're
gentlemen,
a good assassin.
I think that's where we'll end today's session. So let's do some shout outs and wrap this bitch up. AP, let's start with you. Where can people find you?
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, AP Gaming Rail. I do stuff. You can follow me at those places. That's me. I'm out.
Nice. Eugene.
Hi, I'm Eugene. Those places that he said, but with a different name, Eugene.
Nice.
Except on Twitter, it's DSU June, and on YouTube, it's a long series of numbers and dashes.
That's horrible.
It's a problem, but it's fine. Just search for whatever your heart desires, and I'm sure it'll lead you to me eventually.
Prylor. Where can people find you?
Yo, I'm Prowler. Hopefully he puts links in the description in the video, so you can click them there. You can find me on Twitter as Pryler_TV, and here on Twitch as just Pryler.
Yeah.
I played the video games.
And last but not least, we have Mr. James Corp himself. What up, sir? How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, you can find me at James Corp TV at Twitch TV, whatever. I do RPGs and stuff. I'm also on YouTube as James Corp TV because someone had taken it, and on Twitter I'm James Corp TV because someone had taken it. Bastards.
Yeah, I feel that pain. I feel that pain.
I mean, that's the only benefit of the old name, that no one ever used it. Maybe that's why they didn't use it, but no one used it. But yeah, so yeah, find me there. Currently, we've been doing like
What
Warhammer.
was your old name?
James CUK.
James Cuck.
No, James CUK. But other than that, yeah, cool. Really, yeah, much prefer this over bloody Savage Worlds version.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll iron out
I
all the
did enjoy
kinks
it.
and stuff like that. But
I did enjoy punching people's heads off. That was pretty funny though.
Oh yeah, that's a shame. I can't do that anymore in one hit. Punch someone's head off, but you know,
it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's session. If you did, why not follow the channel and feeling saucy? Why not subscribe? Get access to the cockpit and the best emotes on Twitch. Going forward, I think we're in a good place with this game now. I think exploration is going to be key, and we're going to be setting a lot of grounds for like what's out there. So, you know, the three islands that we made. Pures. How do you say it? It's not Pures.
Prius.
Prius.
Oh, it's Prius.
That's right. It's the car. Yeah. Perezia and the Emerald Isles aren't the only continents and civilizations out there. So we're going to get to do a lot of exploring and a lot of cool stuff going forward. So I'm excited. You guys should be excited. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow we will be doing Die Party Surge, which is our Shadowrun Anarchy role-playing experience. So make sure you come back for that. They will be going up regardless of if we have a full team or not. But hopefully we do, because taking on a Megacorp would be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.